Swear it's been 700 degrees in here since you came in. I could swear that this room has been running out of air, and now it's starting to spin. You make me feel kinda bad, kinda good, kinda everything, yet it doesn't feel like it should. You make me feel kinda wrong, kinda right, kinda anything, and I would change it if I could. I could swear that I'm fainting, I think I'm losing my sight, I swear I'm hitting the floor. I could swear that my stomach just sunk a meter, I'll be dead if I take any more. You make me feel kinda bad, kinda good, kinda everything, yet it doesn't feel like it should. You make me feel kinda wrong, kinda right, kinda anything, and I would change it if I could.
What is going on, everybody? What is up? What is up? It is Mels, Shady, Just4Bad Sportscast. What is going on? We are here with Lamb. We are here with Hiatus, also known as Shady's Beer Reaction. What is going on, everybody? How is everybody's weekend going?
Wow. We good, man. We good, baby. You know, we feeling good. We looking good. Smelling good. You know what I'm saying?
We in the house, man. Happy Halloween to everyone
happy
out there.
Yes, happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Halloween.
Got my Mr. Rogers cardigan on, y'all. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. You know what
It's a beautiful neighborhood. I won't even start it. Look, the thing is, I didn't even realize you had that sweater on. Bro.
Would you be mine? Could
Bro.
you be
I
mine?
know that you do the Stephen A. impressions, but I didn't know you also tried to dress like him. That's crazy.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, he tried to dress like me.
Is that what it is?
Stephen A's been trying to be like me for as long as I can remember.
That's
Just so y'all
crazy.
know.
Just so you know.
I'm more correct than Stephen A., who now is putting my picks, because I know you watched the show.
He
Stephen.
put my picks under his wing.
Now, hey, I'm the only one who's had the Rams in their power ranking. Stephen A. just did that last week. I've consistently had mine.
He did.
And however, I've been more right than Stephen A. I've been more right than Skip and Shannon, and I've been more right than Max Kellerman and Colin Cowherd. So far. I know we're only halfway through the season, but so far.
Guess who Stephen A. has in the Super Bowl, though?
Who?
Chiefs and Bucks. Which is my pick for this year's Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying.
That's exactly what we talked about last week. I said that's what if the NFL was smart, they need to rig it to where that's what happens because that's the Super Bowl we all want to see.
Right.
That's not going to be my prediction for the Super Bowl. We'll get to picks later. I'm sure Milby has an agenda for that, but that's the Super Bowl we all want to see.
Big facts.
It's going to be interesting. We actually have a really big week here in the NFL. NFL is fairly decent this week. Few things we want to touch on first. Thursday's game. Thursday's game was.
Hey Melby,
Yeah.
Melby, I'm sorry. Before you start,
Nah.
can you unmod Wenzilla and kick him from chat, please? Cardinals versus Steelers. Get this man out of here!
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Thank
Melby.
you for
I
showing
just caught that in chat, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Messing up Melby's intro with that nonsense. What are you talking about, bro?
It may be the Steelers, but it ain't gonna be no
dead.
Cardinals.
Right?
Oh my, that is funny.
That man is reaching. All right, I'm sorry, Melby. Go ahead. Back to the intro.
He says Cardinals versus Steelers, one of the best Super Bowl to date. Part 2 coming. Keep on.
And when eventually you're gonna have to join the Discord call, bro. Eventually, that's gonna need to happen.
Oh my God!
I've tried to get him in here, guys. I tried to get him in here. We gotta reconvince him.
Yeah,
I tried to tell him too that he at least needs to come on and be a guest host or something.
You can't boldly put Arizona and the Steelers into a Super Bowl matchup and then be shy from the camera. Get your butt on this call.
And he's the
calling him out.
He's the only one picking those two. Like, not even the sports analysts are picking those two.
Exactly.
And isn't Kenyon Drake hurt?
That is hilarious. So Thursday's game was kind of disappointing, fairly disappointing on both sides of the ball. Teddy Bridgewater didn't do anything. Hiatus showed that out and said that specifically last podcast. Completely said Teddy Bridgewater is not the dude that you want to rely on. That completely showed on Thursday. He didn't even have 200 yards passing. Had an interception. They ended up losing to the Falcons 25-17. They didn't have 100 yards rushing on the ground, and their best wide receiver had 2 receptions on the day. On the other side of the ball, Julio Jones went off like he normally does. 7 receptions, 137 yards. Unfortunately, he didn't get a score in this game, which we've been seeing a lot the last few years. Unfortunately, Julio hasn't been able to get into the end zone, and that's continuing trend into this year as well, unfortunately.
He didn't need to, though.
He didn't need to.
I mean, let's just be honest. Like, when you looked at that game and you seen what transpired in the game, you knew going into it that there was a high probability that Atlanta was going to win. And then after, like, the first 2 quarters, you were like, is this a joke?
Like, facts.
Is this really the NFL? Like, this is what it's come to?
Like,
come on, bro.
It was that bad.
Anyone who picked the Panthers to win that game. I don't know one person who picked Carolina to win that game.
Seriously.
Nope.
Like, it's
I
one of
believe
those.
we all stated on Thursday that we were all picking Atlanta, if I remember right. We didn't officially pick, but we pretty much physically stated Atlanta was winning.
We trashed Carolina.
Yeah,
for
pretty
sure.
much, bro.
We really did.
Put them in the can, bro, and we'll check them out next year, and hopefully they make better picks. But this year, I ain't expecting a thing from Carolina.
Carolina, the Dallas Cowboys, and the New York Jets can all eat a double-decker turd sandwich and flush down the toilet bowl the opposite way.
Ooh,
That's
They're all
rough.
trash. They're all garbage. Super garbage.
big facts. I will never look. While we're speaking on the Cowboys, and I'm sorry, Melby.
No,
I know
good.
you got.
No. It happens. That's why it's a podcast.
Speaking on the Cowboys, I will never listen to me, Lamb. I want you to lean forward when I say this. I will never forgive them for losing to the Washington football team, bro. I don't care.
I gotta give him that one.
You had nobody on your team. I don't care if the kicker was the quarterback. You don't lose to the Washington football team, and you don't only score 3 points.
Where's CB when we need him?
Oh my gosh, I will
That's
never
what
forget
we
you
do
guys,
when you're throwing the season.
bro. I'm sorry. Throw it on another.
Absolutely do when you're
Listen,
throwing the
listen.
season. They're
That's
throwing
fine.
the season.
That's fine.
So you
Lamb.
lose to everyone. The Jets
That's
are throwing
fine.
the season.
They
too.
really are. They're trying to get Trevor Lawrence, but it's
Can I
not going to
speak
happen
to-
either way.
Can I speak to Lamont? Because I think Lamont has a little more pride in his Cowboys than Lamb does. You mean to tell me that just because y'all are tanking the season, that you wanted to lose to the Washington football team?
And for all you new in chat, we have two sides of Lamb. We have Lamont, which is the crazy side of Lamb that we see on occasion, that we get some wild ass answers from, and we don't expect. And me and Shady are like,
that man
wait,
undefeated.
what?
Exactly.
And then we got normal Lamb, like we're seeing currently, who's
And
all
Lamb has a winning
professional, dressed up in his cardigan, professional with his glasses on right now. He all spiffing his beard out at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Lamb has a positive record, the best record on the podcast
He
so
does.
far.
But we're only in the 1 week though, chat. We've only
and
been going
Lamont-
for 1 week. That's going to change this week. It will change this week.
Lamont is undefeated as well.
I'm just saying, I need to talk to Lamont because I don't care if you're tanking the season. I do not agree with that. I do not agree. That is like
you don't win games, bro.
That is, bro.
What are you even saying right now?
Do you hear yourself? Like that's the equivalent of facing down your rival and going, "Well, we're tanking the season. Oh well. Yeah. Like all of those rivalry games between the when they were the Washington Redskins on Thanksgiving, all of those years invested, all of that bad blood built up, and then they changed their name to Washington Football Team. They're just as terrible, but then y'all lose to them, bro. Like, come on. Like, I'm sorry. This is again why I say we do not accept you guys as America's football team. You wanted to fight me on it, but there's no excuse. There's no excuse. I speak for every American that is living right now.
We actually had this discussion one day. We really did.
Yeah,
we do not accept you guys.
Were both wrong because they could not definitively prove to me how the Dallas Cowboys are not America's team. I'm not saying they
were 90s America's football team.
I'm not saying that they should be America's football team. Mm-hmm. My stance has been the same. If nobody else has been officially targeted as NFL as America's football team, then it goes to the last known champion of that title, which is the Dallas Cowboys.
Unfortunately, marketing has changed, and so they no longer market.
There's more marketing.
They no longer market a specific team. They market the organization as a whole.
So we died with the title. Then thank you. It died with we're the reigning defending.
The only thing that you got right there, Lamb / Lamont, is that your Cowboys died. That's it. That is it. That's the only thing that you got correct.
Melby, the Cowboys beat the Falcons, didn't they?
Oh,
did his Panthers beat the Falcons?
Y'all beat them when y'all were
No. Yes or no question. Yes or no question.
It's a yes or no question, and we all know the answer.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Right, we know the answer.
I got another question. Did the Carolina Panthers beat the Atlanta Falcons?
No, they did not. But did we lose to the Washington football team?
Let's move on.
Also, they didn't have one of their best players in Christian McCaffrey.
No excuses, Melby.
Because Dallas was fully healthy at that point when they.
No excuses.
There is
no excuses. I give no excuses.
We lost our best players week 1
to the Washington football team.
We lost our offensive line week 1.
I'll wait.
Dallas. What do you mean? We lost our offensive line week 1, and we lost our best defensive player week 1 in Dallas. What do you mean fully healthy? There's not one NFL
We're going to
team
get there.
Listen, I know that the Cardinals would have beat the Washington football team. I know they would have.
Look at you.
Look at you. Look at you.
The Cardinals aren't tanking the season, bro. The Cowboys are tanking
listen.
the season.
This is one of those listen Linda moments.
We're starting Danucci.
You have to. Dalton got knocked out.
Bro, listen. You literally can tank the season without taking an L to the Washington football. Like,
no,
I don't care.
No, you Washington don't. Football game might not win another game all season. So
look at their record versus your record.
What's your point?
Washington.
You could have won the game.
If
at this point, the Washington football team has a better chance of finishing at a better record than the Dallas Cowboys.
I know.
Why are you talking about winning?
I know.
If you're tanking, you lose. That's how the Dolphins got Tuivasa. The Dolphins have had a legitimate team. Okay, they've had a decent team. They even had a decent team when they had Devontae Parker. They even had a decent team when they had Jarvis Landry, but they're tanking to build the roster. The same thing the Raiders have been doing, bro.
All right,
the Raiders are showing a little bit of effort now.
How tall are you?
Tank to rebuild.
How tall are you, Lamb?
Taller than anybody you've ever seen before.
How tall are you, Lamb?
Taller than anybody you've ever seen.
How tall are you, Lamb? Figures, numbers.
Oh, you want data?
I want data.
I'm 6'4", 611 pounds.
That's right. You hear this, right? You 6'4". I am 5'4". I don't care if you're tanking. You're not losing to a 5'4" whatever. You're gonna take that dub, and then you're gonna whoop whoever else is. You're gonna tank to whoever's next. But you're not tanking to that's literally the mentality, bro. Like I just cannot wrap my mind around.
That's such a good comparison.
I can't, bro.
How is that a good comparison? What are y'all talking about? Tanking means losing. If I'm going to take a dive, I'm going to take
you gotta score more than 3 points against the Washington football team.
Hey, Melby, I agree with that. You've got to score more than 3 points for sure.
There's pride that has to come into it.
You still got to lose the game.
Y'all got smashed by the Washington football team. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, all right.
Titus.
Next season.
Right now. Tanking, losing is tanking. You don't get smashed when you willingly lose. If hiatus, if you and I are having a paper plane throwing contest and you launch that hoe and it goes flying straight and I get mine, crumble up the back of it and just drop it, you didn't smash me, bro. I tanked. I didn't get smashed, bro. I tanked the season. That's not even my good throwing arm, because my good throwing arm,
according to my report, injured. Okay? According to my report, if I'm the Washington football team, I spank that ass.
Oh yeah. No, they
I'm just saying. Come on, listen.
No. Washington needs to spank the Dallas Cowboys so they'll stop abusing women in their front office. How about that?
I mean,
that's true.
This is facts.
They need that.
All right, touche. I'll give you that. I'm just saying. I just had to share my grievance, man, because it's the Washington football team. No one should be losing to the Washington football team, tanking or otherwise. No one.
Oh, don't sleep on Washington, bro. They have an okay offensive line. They have an awesome running back who's only going to get better every season.
Can you bring me a pillow? Because he told me not to, but
they have a defense. Do they not have a defense? Did they not get first round pick?
I don't care. I don't care what they had. I really don't. Because when it comes to Washington does nothing ever.
I'm going to need you to know players, buddy. I'm going to need you to know players, good sir.
Listen.
I'm going to need you to know players.
Same thing how we were talking about, the Cleveland Browns and them creating and getting better, adding offensive threats, getting that defense together. It's not the best, but they were working on it. But we don't expect the Browns to do nothing other than be a gag. Come on. You're not expecting Washington to be a legitimate contender. The last time we were expecting anything from Washington, they had RG3. That was it.
a contender. No
Well,
one's saying anything about a contender.
well, why you want me to look
If
at
they
the
beat the
defense?
Cowboys, that don't make them a if they beat the Cowboys, that don't make them a contender. We're just talking about, are the Cowboys tanking the season? And the Cowboys are tanking the season. That's all
Wait,
that is.
wait.
That's
Pause.
all that is.
As a Cowboy fan, you are complimenting the Washington football team?
Bro, I'm a realist, man. I'm not blinded because I'm a
Nope.
Dallas Cowboys fan. I
Melvin,
am
get
a
me out of this
sports
conversation.
professional.
Save me. Save me.
No,
Because,
no
like,
hiatus.
I don't
No
know.
hiatus.
No,
Check this out. You
I
don't
don't
like
want to
this.
be here
You don't like
anymore.
this.
I don't want to
You
be
like
here
this.
anymore.
Yeah, hey, if you want that narrow-minded, one side only, my squad is the best squad, you better look up and to your left, because Melby
Hold
says
up.
Boston is number one in the East. He said New England was gonna have a good squad. All right, nope, not this guy. I've been the number one person saying the Cowboys were trash. I've been the number one person saying the Cowboys were trash. Absolute garbage.
I agree with you that Cowboys are bad. I just, like I said, when it comes to just the moral part of it, it's kind of like, and this is the only thing that I'm talking at, and I'm just playing around and being funny with Lamb, but I do understand where he's coming from in regards to them tanking the season. But when you look at organizations such as like the Lakers and the Celtics, and just kind of giving you that history. They're at one point were 16 and 17. Now they're 17 apiece. Like, it doesn't matter if like the Lakers are taking a season, because that's a rival. They're not taking that L. Like, that's one game I'm taking serious. I'm not letting you run over me, even if we're tanking. And that's the only thing that I'm talking about, because when it comes to Washington and Dallas, there's so much bad blood between them, that you would expect Dallas to be like, I don't care if the kicker goes out there and throws for 500, you do not lose to them. Like, that's what I was expecting. But that's not what we got. And so I'll take Lamb's statement and stance. They're tanking the season. They took a L. But, I mean, gosh, that's a big L to take, bro.
That's a huge
all I'm
L to take.
It's not a huge L. When look, imagine the mindset you have to be in to decide that you're gonna tank the season. All right. And they don't have a choice. And I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Even if they didn't make a conscious decision that they just don't give a crap anymore, they still might have lost that game. Okay. Andy Dalton would have been terrible either way. The offensive line is banged up. Andy Dalton's running for a sandwich. As soon as he says hut, he's running to 12 yards. Y'all remember playing NFL Madden back in the day? You always played against that one guy who stayed in shotgun, said hut, and then ran 20 yards back, waiting for somebody to get over and chunk it deep. All right? That's been the Dallas Cowboys, except they're getting sacked. He's throwing, they're fumbling the football. Like, the offensive line makes or breaks the Dallas Cowboys, and they do not have one. The offensive line is completely banged up. They're bringing in practice squad boys and rookies, and defenses are just busting through. And Washington has always had a good defensive line. Look at some of their goated players in Washington and just in their franchise history that have been on defense. They've just never really been an offensive juggernaut. But as we know, Dallas Cowboys also have the worst defense in the NFL, outside from like the New York Football Jets. Like, it's horrible. Even though Jalen Smith is probably a top defender this season, who's going to the Pro Bowl for sure, because he's doing everything by himself.
Understandable.
Speaking of injuries, guys, there's a lot of injuries going into this week's games. Some key injuries that are going to play some key matchup roles this week. You got Kenyon Drake out this week. Going into
on that one.
What's that?
Super Bowl. I said, where's Winzilla on that one? Kenyon Drake is out.
Mark Ingram is doubtful. He's not looking to play this week either. Josh Norman officially got ruled with a hamstring injury. So
Bullshit.
he is ruled out. He is not playing against New England. Other key injuries going into this week. John Ross is doubtful due to illness, even though he came out and was stated that he wasn't being utilized anymore, and he said if he was going to be treated like that, he wanted to be traded and said, go ahead and trade me. So I'm pretty sure this is a sign that John Ross is going to be traded at some point this week as well. Joe Mixon is also currently out again for the second straight week for the Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton, as we were just talking about, is still out with a concussion. We probably expect him to be out for the next couple of weeks at least. Philip Lindsay just passed concussion protocol. He is expected to play against the Chargers. Everson Griffin was traded to Detroit this week on Tuesday from Minnesota. He is not going to play this week, though, so he won't be a factor for the Detroit Lions. Green Bay Packers, they're going to be without Aaron Jones for the second straight week. Going into the Jaguars, Gardner Minshew is questionable. He has multiple fractures and a strained ligament in his right thumb. Not looking good for him. They only have him listed as questionable. I don't know if he's going to try to go through it and try to play or not. They haven't said anything regarding that. But that's going to be something to definitely keep an eye on here for the next coming about 12 hours, 13 hours or so before the morning games start off and before field drills and all that before the games start to go. Kansas City Chiefs, they're without a key piece on the offensive line, Mitchell Schwartz, and also without Sammy Watkins still. Dalvin Cook is returning this week, so for all of y'all that have been saying this, that, and the other, Minnesota sucks on offense, they can't do anything, is Dalvin Cook going to come back? The answer is he fully practiced yesterday. He's going to be here on the field against Green Bay on Sunday, so that's good news for everybody. Patriots are without a lot of key pieces this weekend. Stephon Gilmore is out. N'Keal Harry is out with a concussion. Julian Edelman had surgery on his knee this week. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future. I don't think he, personally as a New England fan, I don't foresee him coming back at all the rest of the season. His career, he's probably going to retire after this year, honestly. I don't foresee him going much longer, in my opinion.
So is Cam Newton sitting on the bench, or is he playing?
Cam Newton is officially still named as a starter as of right now. There's no news on that.
All right. So then we'll count that as an L. All right, let's move on.
It's pretty much going to be an L against the Bills, yes.
You know who else gets that L? Bill Belichick gets that L.
Yes, he does.
Okay?
Listen,
Tom Brady has once again proved that it's not. He wasn't a system guy. It's not the Patriot system. No, it was Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski. They lost all their players outside of Julian Edelman. Like
and
they
now
lost
Edelman's
all
probably
of their
out for
players.
the rest of the year.
right, and that's true. But also it showed to him not being able to really get a quarterback outside of Tom Brady to expire for greatness. Because how do you bench your starting quarterback and then start them the next game?
Right. How do you not make a quarterback move and follow suit?
Right.
Especially when the quarterback that was replaced only got a quarter to play.
No,
Right.
I agree with Belichick on this decision. And I'm going to tell you why I agree with Belichick on this decision.
Please
Because
enlighten me.
to win anything, you have to have your best players in there.
But is
Okay.
Cam Newton your best situational play caller at this point?
Yes.
And we haven't
Yes.
seen that this season. We saw it for
We
the first
have.
game of the season, and that was it.
We saw it for the first few games of the season.
No.
But
His stats have been slowly dwindling down after the first
it doesn't matter. He's a Super Bowl quarterback, a league MVP. You start Cam Newton. You start him. You know what I mean? If you want to talk about dumb decisions, you talk about the Miami Dolphins all of a sudden benching Fitzmagic, who's been playing amazing. That's a dumb decision.
Hey,
Bill
Dane,
Belichick is
cover your
making
ears,
smart
Dane.
decisions.
Yeah. You don't want to hear this, Dave.
You don't want to hear this. I don't want to enrage you.
I forgot. But yeah, you have to. And the reason why you bench Cam Newton is because you're going to lose that game. He's obviously cold. Don't risk him getting injured, right? Let him rest
And
up.
Stidham's
Let somebody
mobile.
else go
We've seen that in preseason last year. He ran for a 70-yard touchdown in preseason. So we know he's a mobile quarterback and can handle that kind of stuff as well. And honestly, I wish we would have never even signed Cam Newton. I had said it from the beginning of the year when Cam Newton was a free agent and rumor was him to come to New England. I was like, no. I was like, give Stidham the opportunity. Keep Hoyer as his backup. I don't want anything to do with Cam because, one, he's too injury prone. And then, two, he doesn't fit our system.
Wait, all right. I want to address this because let's be 100% honest. All right. So, dang, in your statement that you just made, I do understand about the doubt that surrounds Miami and the Dolphins, and because they really haven't done much since Dan Marino. They did have a premium running back, but then the whole weed thing with that, and it just turned crazy. So I understand the doubt. However, I cannot allow you to say the last statement, which is the record is better than the Patriots, because Tom Brady is not on the Patriots. So if we have to be correct, you would base your record off of what the Bucks are doing, because we learned that the Patriots was Tom Brady. That was it.
Yeah.
So if we got to be honest in our assessment, because you're not getting the same Patriots team. That's like comparing, a healthy Dallas team to unhealthy Dallas team, or what they're doing right now. Like, you can't compare them because they don't have the tools to fight. And Cam coming on to the Patriots, like, it was their last saving grace. They wanted someone that could feel that could give them versatility, that could run, that could pass, and all that. But he can't do that, because when it comes to Cam Newton, his understanding of the game has to be limited, because he doesn't know all of the play calls. He doesn't know all of that, so you have to kind of dumb it down for him in order for those plays to work.
And that's why I thought they should have went to Stidham, because Stidham's been in the organization. He knows the play calls, that and the other. So I think it would have been a better fit all around for him to begin with, anyways.
You got to ride with Cam Newton on that. I'm sorry, I have to. Because the other thing Cam Newton's getting, he's getting experience in the system. So what if y'all tank the season? You know what that means? You know what I mean? You get better draft picks. Look at all the picks the Jets have. Look at the picks the Raiders still have. You know what I mean? Coming in the draft. If you're the Patriots, so what? Y'all have enough championships to never win another game and still dominate the NFL with stats, bro. Like, that's how good the damn New England Patriots have been, bro. So if y'all gotta lose this season so Cam can get more acclimated to the
Cam's
system,
there for this
to the
year,
style,
and that's it. He's not staying after this year.
Where's he gonna go?
Nowhere. No one's gonna want to pick him up. Patriots are releasing him after this year. I guarantee it.
That would be stupid.
No,
that would be stupid. Yeah, that would be stupid.
No, because we got Stidham and we can just draft another quarterback.
That's even dumber. Going with a brand new quarterback? Oh,
Stidham's not brand new. Stidham's been in the organization. We saw that he was a decent quarterback before Brady came in and started during the regular season, because Stidham started every single preseason game. Stidham dominated the preseason.
The preseason where the starters don't play on defense?
It doesn't matter. Stidham still dominated. It was good to see it. But
I hope the Patriots do
and that and the other, Brady only plays a quarter out of the whole preseason anyway. So Stidham was working with the starters the entire time for the third and fourth game.
No, I'm talking about the defenses on the other teams. You don't start your starter on defense.
You got to look at it that the fact that he still has flow with the starters, that he's had routine with the starters. Cam never had that. Stidham's already been in the organization, knows all the play calls, that and the other. And he learned from under Tom Brady. Cam Newton never learned under Tom Brady. Cam Newton came in out of the blue and didn't know a damn thing about the New England offense.
Every new player gets into a new organization and doesn't know. But if I'm in trouble as an organization and I want a player who can create something out of nothing, you don't start Stidham. You start Cam Newton. You just do. You
No,
have to put your best player out there to give yourself, having your best athletes out there, give your team the best chance of winning. In basketball, it's different. In basketball, it's no longer just let me get the fastest, tallest guys out there. Basketball is more skill, right? In basketball, you build your team based upon skill players. I need a rebounder. I need someone who's going to be 93% or better from the free throw line every single time. I need someone who can shoot 3-pointers. I need somebody else who can shoot 3-pointers. I need someone else who can post. You know what I mean? Like, you fill your team with skill players. In football, everyone needs to be a freaking thoroughbred horse. Fast, strong, and big. Everybody. That's why there's all this talk right now about Tua. And I'm sure Dane has heard it a lot too, because he's short. He's short. He's not tall. And like Colin Cowherd was saying, Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, they're the exceptions to the rule. But if you pull the top 40th greatest quarterbacks the NFL's ever seen, there's like 3 that are short. Doug Flutie, Drew Brees, Russell Wilson. All the other ones are your 6'4", 220-pound guys. So you have to put your best athletes out there. And Cam, that's a big boy who can push a lot of dudes out of the way. He's one of the fastest guys on the field when he's out there, even post-surgery.
Let me just go ahead and kick his ankle so he can be out for the rest of the season.
Hey, that thing has so much tape on it, bro. He could be a mummy for Halloween.
That's what I was saying. Just let me kick his ankle real quick, and he's done for the rest of the year.
So I think the blame actually, this is my take on it with this Cam season with the Patriots. It's blame to go on both sides. Blame to go on Cam Newton's side because he kind of came into the Patriots organization saying, I'm not going to be humble. He kind of put extra weight on his shoulders that he didn't necessarily have to. He could have just been quiet, just came in, see how it went. On the Patriots side, they're still trying to run Tom Brady through Cam Newton. And Cam Newton is a different type of quarterback. You can't
Cam Newton has no arm anymore.
Right. You can't use Cam Newton like you would use a Tom Brady. You have to be able to know these read option plays. You have to know how to get him moving. He's used to throwing on the go and check down, receiving yards and stuff like that, and reading the defense while running. So when you get a quarterback like that, and you're used to having a quarterback that is stationary and surveying, that's not his thing. That's never been his thing. Even when he was with Carolina, even the year that we went, that was not his thing. He was just as effective on his legs as our leading rusher was. Like, he's always on the go. And I think both sides kind of have a level of blame there. Now, as to whether or not they will keep him going into the next season, it depends on what type of franchise the Patriots are trying to build. If they're saying, you know what, we realize we did lose a valuable asset in Tom Brady and we want to start over, I can see them sending him on his way. If they say, you know what, we feel like we didn't give Cam Newton the opportunity to play his style and we're going to switch it up and change our play style, I can see them keeping him another year and seeing how it works out. But it just depends on how they're going to do it.
There's another team this worked with, Melby. Let's just think about this really quick. If the Patriots do decide to keep Cam Newton, it might not be as bad as, I know things look bleak, but it might not be that bad. There was another quarterback who came in, right, as a rookie, a running style quarterback, that once the quarterback got injured and he was placed in, and they saw what he could do, they changed the whole offense around this one quarterback. They didn't try to make the quarterback learn the previous injured quarterback's offense. They brought in the tight ends, the offensive line, the wide receiver, the running back, said, look, we're going to play how he's used to playing in college. And that's Deshaun Watson. The Houston Texans, I know Bill O'Brien's no longer there, but they switched the entire offense to form around what Deshaun Watson was able to do. Like Hiatus said, they're trying to bring Cam into the Tom Brady. You cannot bring in a quarterback who has never been capable of throwing accurate football passes and then get mad at him for being inaccurate and throwing picks.
And that's why I say Stenton needs to be the starter.
Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
And by the way, can Cam have one weapon? Can he have one offensive weapon besides himself, please?
This is true.
Can he get one? Can he get a tight end? Can he get one marquee receiver?
No cap
Can we
space
give
until
him
next
someone?
year, and that's why I say Cam Newton's out next year because that creates even more cap space. We have over $100 million in cap space next year.
Well, all I'm saying is, where's this great New England Patriots defense that I've been hearing so much about?
Everybody sat out this year. That's why half our defense sat out this year because of COVID. Literally, our whole All-Pro defense sat out this year besides Stephon Gilmore and the two McCourty brothers. Everyone else sat out or has been injured.
But I don't think that this is a good depiction of Cam Newton. Now, Cam Newton, his biggest Achilles has always been the fact of him being injured, and that's just due to the fact that he's always on the go and running. But Cam Newton is a good option back. If Cam Newton had a running back such as like a Le'Veon Bell that he could run read options on.
One wide receiver.
Right.
Do we really think Matt Ryan is that good?
It would be different.
And Calvin Ridley. Really?
It would definitely be different because when the point of the offense when you're a quarterback is to freeze the safeties. You want to freeze the safeties so that you can get the long balls, you can get those check downs in because they don't know whether they need to commit to the quarterback or if they need to commit to covering, staying in coverage.
And I'm glad Hiatus brings that up too because Cam's never been able to read a defense.
Right.
No, he can read defenses.
No,
he just cannot. If you can read defenses all you want, but if you can't get the ball where it's supposed to go, once you read the defense, then what's the point of even reading defenses? You know what I mean? Like Melby, I can play quarterback all I want and know exactly what I should do. I need to get the ball to him because he's going to penetrate this zone right in the center of the field. The safeties are backing up. But if I cannot accurately get that guy the ball, then what's the point of me even having the knowledge to read defenses?
But
you cannot throw an accurate football.
You do not have to read defenses when you're not a pocket passer. When you are a rushing or a running quarterback, you don't read defenses. You create havoc within the safeties. You cause the linebackers to commit, and you take advantage of them being overly aggressive.
And that's why I wanted to bring that up because
that is exactly how he's been playing.
Exactly, and that's why I brought that fact up because Hyatt has brought up a good point about New England trying to have Cam Newton throw the ball, this, that, and the other. Cam Newton can't read defenses when he's forced to stay in the pocket.
That's never been his MO.
No,
and
never.
That is something that they should have known even from bringing him in. I could understand the reason that they brought him in is because, again, at the end of the day, it's just like Melby said, money. You don't want to taint the season or have a bad season and not have a marquee guy, especially once you've allowed your marquee guy to leave the organization. So I understand the reason of them bringing Cam Newton in, but they're not really giving him a fair opportunity to really show what he can do because they're not playing him correctly. And so, yes,
he has no weapons.
That too. But even if he doesn't have any weapons or he doesn't have, if you play him right, you would get more W's than you get L's if you play him correctly.
Right.
They're not playing him correctly. He is not a pocket passer. He doesn't care about the offensive line being able to block for him because he would run over guys. It's like what we used to see with Ben Roethlisberger. He's a big boy. He would run you over. So you bring your little cornerback in there, and he's going to run him over and then check it down to the running back afterwards. Like, that's how he plays ball. And so when you switch it up and you want him to be a Vinny Testaverde, like, that's not him.
Cowboys, Jets, throwback.
Right. like, what are you doing? And I only say Vinny Testaverde because he was also one that was heavily injured. Right. And they also made him a pocket passer, and he wasn't. But they made him a pocket passer, and it's like, bro, you can't force a quarterback to be something that they're not. It's the same. We wouldn't force Tom Brady to be a running quarterback. Correct. We would allow him to operate and give him a line so that he can pick the defense apart. We wouldn't force Aaron Rodgers to be a running quarterback. We would allow him to sit into the pocket and pick them apart. We wouldn't expect Drew Brees to be a running quarterback. We would allow him to sit in the pocket and pass the ball.
Yeah,
so that's I mean, you got to know your quarterback.
Because he uses the tools that God gave him. And the tools that God gave Cam Newton is the same tools that he gave Lamar Jackson. 2 strong legs, bro. 2 super strong damn hindquarters. We can't even call them legs. They're on their hindquarters, okay?
and dang, to your point, yes, he's always injured because he's literally a running back at the quarterback position.
He's a tall running
back. When you're a running back, you do suffer more injury because you're getting hit more. And so because he's not the type of quarterback that just goes down or slides, and that he encourages the contact, yes, you're going to get injured just like the running backs. Think about the lifespan of a running back. It is short in the NFL because they take so much punishment. And when you have a running quarterback, it's the same thing. He's not going to stay back there and just lob it up. He's going to get from behind those tackles and try to get upfield. So you literally have a quarterback / running back, and you have to know how to work. So that's why that read option becomes pivotal, because then you give him an option to kind of save himself, because he can always pitch it off to the running back and let him absorb most of the beating versus him taking that. But like, they have to get to the point of looking at Cam and trying to maximize on his potential and not going based off of what they've done in the past. It's not going to work.
That's funny. Yeah, Proctor said. Yeah, Protector said a good fact, which is sad. Going back to finish off injuries real quick, guys. New Orleans has only 2 healthy wide receivers this week. Michael Thomas still isn't back, so they're with only 2 healthy wide receivers this week. Philadelphia is very hurt on the offense. Still out on Alshon Jeffrey. Miles Sanders is still out. He has a knee injury this week. Going into San Francisco, they have 2 main wide receivers out, Richie James and Deebo Samuel. But they're also gaining Tevin Coleman back this week. So that's a big plus for them in their run game, because their run game has been very hurt this year. Seattle Seahawks have all 3 of their running backs currently on the questionable list. Chris Carson with a foot injury. Carlos Hyde is doubtful. And then Travis Homer is a game-time decision. If all 3 of those guys don't go, that leaves them with their draft pick from this year, who is a 4th-round pick out of Miami. So that'll be fairly interesting and something to look out for, because Seattle has a tough game this week, I believe. Tampa was without Chris Godwin this week. Still no Antonio Brown yet. He's not going to come in the factor until next week in Week 9. And that rounds out pretty much the main injuries for this week before we get into the schedule here. Scheduling wise, first game on the list, guys. We're going to do our picks as we go about this, so Lamb, get ready. You got to type everything up for us, right, and keep track?
Oh, yeah. We're going to bring up that Word document and that Excel document.
Yeah, Edelman can throw the ball better than Cam Newton.
Y'all need to jump out the window with that.
That's crazy, bro.
Do a skills
Edelman is a former quarterback. What are you saying?
Do a skills.
That's crazy.
The only reason
Edelman played quarterback in college before he transferred to wide receiver.
Look, no.
Here's the thing. Here's what I will say in regards to this, because this I hate when this happens, right? So when you see a quarterback struggle, they start doing the comparisons. If Edelman was back there, you would see a completely different type of player. I'm telling you.
It would be horrible.
It's all nice and fun, but he chose to be a receiver for a reason.
Yep.
Everybody's not cut out to be a quarterback in the league. Now, It's great to have that option. if you want to do trick plays. But I'm telling you, it's easy to say that until he's back there between those tackles. And then you're like, what the heck?
But you gotta look at the factor, though, that he did have that experience, though.
No. I give him that. I give him that. But there's a skill gap. There's a skill gap between college and the pros. So if he's never played quarterback in the pros, I can't say he's better.
It is completely different.
That's a skill gap.
He took Auburn to a championship. Do y'all forget who Cam Newton was? Off of
luck. You're not gonna say that kickoff return was not luck,
bro. Look at Cam Newton in his
get
prime.
Out of here with
Cam
this.
Newton in his prime is a better athlete than anyone on the Patriots have ever had, bro.
That kickoff return was so lucky.
Cam Newton in his prime is a better athlete than anyone the Patriots have had.
That's the only reason they were in that game.
And the only reason y'all even know the name Edelman is because of Tom Brady. That's it. Because he played with Tom Brady. That's the only reason we know the name Julian Edelman. Because Julian Edelman is not a marquee wide receiver. He's not going to jump up in double coverage like Julio or D-Hop and pull that ball down. The only reason we know the name Julian Edelman is because Tom Brady and delayed slant.
Oh, that's the only reason why we know Wes Welker. It was the same reasoning.
True.
Wes Welker wouldn't be one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game if it wasn't for Tom Brady.
Yeah, did this Tom man Brady say, so did Tebow? Oh, I'm done. Get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore.
No, dang. I might agree with Dang. Hey, I was a Tim Tebow fan.
Tim Tebow was fun to watch.
And
oh
Cam
my
Newton.
Gosh.
Tim Tebow and Cam Newton, they throw the football the exact same way. What the hell are you doing? They throw the football the exact same way. Horribly.
So getting into our picks this week, guys, we have New England at Buffalo. Very questionable offense, as we were just talking about with New England. Is Cam Newton going to go the whole game, or is he going to get yanked again? We haven't lost triple games in a row since 2002.
Mel B.
That's 18 years ago.
M-E-L-B.
That's almost before Tom Brady started. That was in the first couple of years of the Brady's era.
Mel B, you gotta let it go, bro.
I know. I know
it is hard because for years the Patriots have been on top and they have shown up and shown out, but you got to LIG it, bro.
I LIG'd it last game. I did. It was so hard to admit, too.
It is not only almost 90% possible that they will lose their third straight game.
It's going to happen.
Like, unless you're going to make Cam Newton the running back, what are you going to do? You're lacking on defense. You're lacking on offense. What are you gonna do?
I know.
And that's
just so you know, Melby, your Patriots team that was your favorite goes down in infamy. It's just right now when y'all are down, every other team wants to come in and stomp the hell out of y'all, bro.
I said in the beginning of the year we weren't gonna finish at a 500 record.
I give them no credit. Any team who beats the Patriots now, I give you no credit. Tom Brady's been in your ASS for years, bro.
I
digging
know.
in. So I give no team that beats the Patriots this season any credit at all. You're still trash. If Tom Brady was over there, they would be undefeated right now. Okay, can I just say that? They would be undefeated. If y'all were over there with Rob Gronkowski and a healthy Julian Edelman, y'all would be undefeated. Who would y'all have lost to? Maybe the Chiefs. Maybe. But y'all still almost beat the Chiefs this year. You almost beat the Chiefs this year.
It's facts.
I'm just saying, like, any team out there that beats the New England Patriots, I don't give y'all any credit.
We would have lost to the Seahawks still.
No.
I can't even say that. After what we saw them do, I can't even say that.
I don't say that. Because remember, Tom Brady's able to rile the troops, bro, wherever he goes. Cam Newton... many players
we would have 2 L's if we still had Brady. It would be Seahawks and Chiefs.
I don't think so. maybe one. I might give you the Chiefs one, even though y'all almost beat the Chiefs this year. But the Seahawks, no. If the Cardinals beat them, y'all would have beat them. Y'all would have destroyed them.
New England loses this week though against Buffalo.
Yeah, New England might not win another game this season. Sorry.
So everybody Buffalo?
Yep.
Buffalo.
All right.
You know I already wrote it down. You know I already wrote it.
Next game, chat. Next game. We have Tennessee at Cincinnati. Like we were just talking about, Joe Mixon is not in this game. They're also
Tennessee.
without one of their primary wide receivers in John Ross, who's probably going to end up being traded this week. Tennessee's going to roll in this one, I believe. Joe Burrow did look really good last week, though, against Cleveland. You have to give him that. He threw for 400 yards in that loss. But Tennessee is overwhelmingly going to win this game. Derrick Henry's going to gash up Cincinnati in this game.
Yep.
I believe Tennessee has the number one. You might want to check the stats, but I believe Tennessee has the number one offense in the National Football League. They have been getting 3 or 4 or 5 or more touchdowns every single game. Okay, Ryan Tannehill, because of Derrick Henry, has been on fire, and Derrick Henry, because of Ryan Tannehill, has been on fire. They are destroying teams. They almost beat the Steelers. They should have beat the Steelers, as a matter of fact. I think we all agree on that from last week, too. The Titans, I believe, have the number one offense. I can't think of an offense that's better than theirs. Not even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are putting up as many points in offensive stats like the Tennessee Titans are.
Actually, Tampa Bay has the most points in the league right now at 222. Kansas City's right behind them at 218.
How about that?
But,
And then the Atlanta Falcons are third with 209.
Wait, are you just in...
This is overall points for the season so far.
No.
Through the season so far, through 7 games played, Tampa Bay Buccaneers have 222 points. Points per game, the Seattle Seahawks are at 33.8. Green Bay Packers are at 32.8. Tampa Bay is at 31.7. And then the Tennessee Titans are 4th at 31.3. The Titans are all the way down at about 10th with only 188 points so far through the season.
All right, so let's look at this here.
They are almost 40 points behind the Buccaneers right now through the season points-wise. Yes, Sunshine, happy Halloween to you as well. How's your weekend going, Sunshine? How is everybody tonight in chat, guys? How is everyone going? We're having an amazing Halloween, eventful chat tonight. We've had
Titans scored 16
good
points
back
week
and
1,
forth
33
conversations
week
going
2,
on so far.
31 week 3, 42 week 4, 42 week 5, 24 week 6. They've had 2 games where they scored 42 points. The other 2 games, they scored 30 or more. They've only had 2 games where they didn't score at least 30
and I'm
points.
telling you that they only have 188 points so far through the season. They're still 40. They're 39 points behind the Buccaneers for number 1 place in the league.
That's absolutely fine, but they're putting up 30 points on almost every single
Yeah, they're putting
team.
up 30.5, but that's still 3.5 points behind the number 1 team in the league. They're number 4 right now as points per game goes, but as overall points go, they're about 10th in the league right now.
What about yards? Who has the most yards?
Most yards in the league right now is currently
That's
the
still
Atlanta
Dallas?
Falcons.
Oh, I was going to say, don't say Dallas still.
Nope. The Atlanta Falcons have everybody by 300 yards so far. Arizona Cardinals have second by 8 yards over the Dallas Cowboys.
What? That just goes to show you, y'all, yardage means nothing because the Atlanta Falcons are trash and so are the Cowboys. Yardage means absolutely nothing.
Zero.
It means absolutely nothing. It's pointless. Pointless stat.
So we're all choosing Tennessee over Cincinnati in this game.
I already put it down.
Next game is going to be a good one, guys. Next
Raiders.
one's going to be fairly good. Hiatus is already calling it off. We got Raiders at Cleveland, guys. Cleveland was without Odell Beckham Jr. for the rest of the year. Nick Chubb is still hurt. And you saw them be very suspect last week on defense. Joe Burrow gashed them for 400 yards through the air. The Vegas Raiders are very healthy on offense right now. And Nelson Aguilar is looking like the number one receiver over there. For some odd reason, that dude is catching everything and everything this year, and he couldn't do it in Philly. Don't know why. So, I'm agreeing with Hiatus on this one. The Raiders are going in here, and they're taking down Baker Mayfield in Cleveland.
I got to think on this one, y'all.
It's going to be a very good game.
I'm sorry. What?
Without an Odell Beckham Jr. to open up that offense. Yeah, we saw them do good last week, but we saw them basically without a whole game without Odell Beckham Jr., so we have full tape on that. All the Raiders got to do is just sit back and pick off Baker Mayfield. They don't even have to give him pressure. Play him like they did against Patrick Mahomes and make him throw the ball, and they will not win this game because they have Josh Jacobs on the other side of the football.
The Raiders beat Kansas City. The only team that really spanked them was Tom Brady. And I mean...
That's the only team. Every other game has been close.
And they've played...
Besides New England. The New England game, they lost by 16 for some reason.
Like, they played some legitimate competition. I don't see...
They've had a tough schedule this year.
Yeah, like, I don't see the Browns being able to really match up to their tenacity. I don't see that happening.
The Raiders' defense is getting better and better every week, besides what we saw against Tom Brady last week. But we expect that with Tom Brady with that many weapons on offense.
Melby, be careful when you use certain words because then he'll start talking about them goddamn Rams.
That is facts.
We gonna get to the Rams. But all I'm saying is Baker Mayfield is statistically a better trash quarterback when Odell is off the field.
That's fine.
And I don't mean better by a little bit. I mean, his percentages go up.
That's because he's not trying to hurl it up in the air all the time.
Exactly. Do you remember Dak Prescott's first year starting for the Dallas Cowboys? How he was almost MVP that season, and the Cowboys went 13-3, and they interviewed him. They're like, "Oh my God, you have the highest QBR of any quarterback in the NFL and all that. How do you do that?" You know what he said? He said, "I'm just going to throw it to the open man." And remember who got upset? Dez Bryant. Who wanted the ball? Dez Bryant. But Dak was having none of it. He's like, "I'm going to throw it to whoever's open. We're not going to force plays into a marquee receiver to try to pad stats so we can sell jerseys."
But now you're just going to see Baker try to feed Jarvis Landry 24/7.
No.
Yes, you
dude,
are.
he's never tried to feed Jarvis Landry like that.
He did before Odell Beckham even got there. That's all you saw him was trying to give it to Jarvis Landry.
Before Odell Beckham ever got here. He was a better quarterback before Odell Beckham joined the Cleveland Browns. And that's just in the stats.
Are you picking Browns?
I don't know. I got to get the final injury report because Jarvis Landry apparently has hips and knees injuries too, and Njoku has a knee and an injury. I got to see the final.
Been on IR. He hasn't played in a few weeks.
Yeah, he might be coming back though, and I don't know if Jarvis Landry's going to play. I don't know if Trent Brown's going to play.
The only healthy tight end that the Cleveland Browns have this week is the dude that I picked up actually. I'm getting to it here in just a second. Tight end, Harrison Bryant. Njoku is active, but he ain't gonna get much playing time. Not just coming off of the IR like that.
Your dry skin story changes
need to see more
from
of
one day
the injured players who's actually
to the
going
next.
to play and who's just
Try
not
Eucerin
going to
Advanced
play.
Repair and
Because I will tell
Switch.
you, if
Njoku
Landry,
Like
barely played
94% of
last
people
week.
who said they would
if
too.
Landry plays,
Recommended by
all snaps.
dermatologists.
If Njoku
It
plays,
doubles your skin's
all snaps.
moisture and repairs dry skin over time.
I'm going to pick the Cleveland Browns on this one.
So
But
tomorrow,
I need to see.
Can
So
be a
tomorrow,
different
if they're all starting,
Eucerin,
those injured
recommended and
players are
used by
starting, then I'm going to
dermatologists.
pick the Browns.
Dominique, it seems crazy to me. What do you think of this whole situation?
And let me
Yeah,
write
I
that
mean,
down.
I understand why it
Very
may seem
specific,
crazy, but it might
because
make
hiatus
sense
will
for
try to
them
twist
because
my
again,
words
we're
going
coming
on
off
in
of
the
a basketball
background.
season.
I
You
didn't
can't
even
have everyone
notice
be
it.
ball
My
handlers.
bad,
Like,
chat.
They have too many
I'm
mouths
clicking
to
on
feed in that
stats real
situation. That
quick
was
to
part
see
of their
who was
problem last year.
available in
I
this.
think the
that, and
major
other.
problem was the coaching staff, but part of it was you
yeah,
want to feed
Njoku
everybody.
barely
And in
played
order to
last
build a
week.
great offense or even a good offense, you need to get
basically
good at one thing first.
scored
You can't be just designing
on
one-off plays to
only
get
2 or
balls
3
to all these
plays.
different players. So I can see
For
this
somebody
team
who's
being
rolled
better
with
if they
the
find more
Browns,
role players
don't bet
and
your
not
money on
necessarily
them.
more
They
playmakers.
gonna embarrass you.
I'm not
And
taking the Browns in
Gonna
this
embarrass you.
one. The
But all right, bro.
Raiders are definitely taking
all
this
I'm
one.
saying, and this is one of those games that neither one of us are really fans of these teams, so it really doesn't matter in the
I've
end.
been a
It would
fan
just
of the
be a
Raiders.
win or loss.
I've always been a fan of the Raiders.
Oh, well, not me. I don't give a crap
I'm not.
about either one of these teams.
Yeah,
But
I'm not.
My dad was a fan of the Raiders. I've always watched the Raiders. I loved Randy Moss and Jerry Rice when they both played together for the Raiders.
yeah, my main point is going to be that if whenever one specific player is out of the game, everybody else plays better, you found what the problem is on your team. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back.
You're good.
All right. Hey, man, bring me back something to drink.
He
I don't think he heard me. Bring me back something to drink, Hiatus.
got one on the table right there.
I know, it's almost gone.
Yeah, my bang's almost gone, chat. I've been going strong today, guys. I've been going real strong. This is my second stream today, actually. We've been going solid for, stream-wise, like 8.5 hours today.
Sunshine!
Yes, good old sunshine, guys. We all love sunshine. How is everyone tonight, guys? What did everyone have for dinner? How's everyone's Halloween going? What has everyone got going on for Halloween? Mr. Dressy over here
I'm gonna go. Oh man, this
is going to a party
trash.
later.
This is trash.
Yo,
gear,
what's
bro.
going on, JJ? How's it going, man? Hiatus is
Living.
throwing. He's on a BRB real quick. But yeah, how's it going tonight, guys? How is everyone? JJ, what do you got going on for the kids tonight, man? Did you guys end up going out and getting some candy and everything? Or did you guys end up just staying in and chilling out and doing stuff with the kids there?
We have not talked about the Chargers yet either, Living. So.
No, we haven't. We haven't gotten to the Chargers yet, yeah. So that's gonna be a good game to look out for too. It's a rivalry game this week. And Herbert's looking really good.
That man is looking amazing. He's
Kids
gonna
went
be
to
so
a
good.
friend's house. We back home getting set up for the night. Nice, man. Nice. What do you got going on tonight, man?
Oh, you know, if they ain't got the kids, then he's gonna hit that. Boom, 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 boom. 'Cause the kids are staying at their friend's house.
He is. He's him and Burrow are real close. He said the kids are back home now.
Ooh, I love some chicken tenders.
But
the kids are back home
chicken
now?
tenders
Gotcha.
and turkey dumplings for dinner tonight. Dang, that sounds really good, Protector. That sounds delicious. But yeah,
Right.
between
guys.
Herbert and Burrow, they're definitely 1-2 right now. I can't choose beside them because Burrow showed out last week. But they're definitely neck and neck right now
Well,
as the best
there's
quarterbacks to come out the draft so far.
A new challenger has entered. Do y'all remember playing Mortal Kombat and Super Street Fighter 2? A new challenger has entered, and it freezes the game you already in. Tua Tagovailoa will be starting this week.
Exactly.
We'll see.
And we still haven't seen Jalen Hurts either. So
And we're not going to see
technically won't
Jalen
even
Hurts.
know. So we technically don't know who's the best QB in the
We
draft.
won't
They would
even
all
see
have to
Jalen
start
Hurts
the same
this
amount
year.
of games.
We won't
They would all
see
have to
we
start
won't
the same
see
amount of games.
love from Green Bay this year either. So technically we won't see. But as far
We gonna see, JJ. We gonna see.
it's gonna be interesting, JJ. I'm interested. They got a tough matchup this week too, which we're about to
Yeah.
get to. But Lamb
we do.
here needs to pick who he's picking. Are you picking Cleveland or are you picking the Vegas Raiders?
I will go with Cleveland if
No,
No if. You
no,
gotta pick a
all
winner.
in or all out. Like we could do this all night.
Yeah, we
I
could
will go with
pick
such and
ifs.
such if.
No. First of all, I'm a grown man. If I want to
Listen.
no, hold on. If I want to say I'm only going to pick the Green Bay Packers if Aaron Rodgers is starting, then I'm only going to pick the Green Bay Packers if Aaron Rodgers is starting. So
But
I will only pick the Cleveland Browns until I see the injury report. If Njoku and Jarvis
The final
Landry
injury report's already been out. Jarvis Landry is not on the injury report.
Bro, I love you, bro. But listen,
where's the final injury report?
That doesn't add up because
final
then
injury reports came out yesterday.
Put that in the tally. You can't put that in the tally. How do you put that in the tally? I'm gonna pick them depending on the injury report. Like you can't put that in the tally.
I did put it in the tally because what that means is if Jarvis Landry ain't playing, then I'm automatically
Jarvis
going
Landry is listed as healthy
and we
doesn't
can't
carry an injury designation into Sunday.
Yo, Fly.
This is on fantasy football.
Man, I don't trust fantasy football.
What do you mean? You have to trust fantasy football.
No, I need ESPN.
It's blurry as hell
bro.
because it's pixelation up that close. But Jarvis Landry is active, and he does not carry a designation. So you have to pick a winner.
What about Njoku? Is he
Njoku played last week. He went 2 for 3 and had a touchdown. He's in the same situation.
Because I'm seeing injury on my screen for Jarvis Landry and for Njoku. That's what I'm saying.
Njoku, healthy.
You're looking on fantasy though, bro. I'm looking on like.
This is the legit Cleveland Browns page at the same time. The only 3 players on the Cleveland Browns on my injury report are Austin Hooper, Jacob Phillips, and Wyatt Teller. Nobody else is on the injury report.
Then if that's true, then I'm going for the Cleveland Browns.
Nobody else is on injury report.
So Melby,
I already
make
wrote it
sure
down.
for this one that you tally him for Cleveland because I want him to come back.
It's a
next
definite tally for Cleveland.
We found out,
and I'm definitely putting it in the sticky note. I'm putting it in the sticky note.
Y'all just worry about catching up. You ain't got to worry about my talent. Y'all
catching
worry about
up.
catching
We're
up.
only 2 wins behind you.
Y'all worry about catching. Hey, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Don't make me bring out Dominic Toretto. Don't make me bring out Dominic Toretto.
We're putting it in the big old letters to chat. Lamb picks Cleveland.
Facts. I ain't never met a more indecisive alpha.
I
Pick the Browns, bro. Pick the Browns with your chest, bro.
Nah, bro. Because I'm an alpha, I'm not gonna let y'all try to intimidate me into making an uninformed decision, bro. Nah.
We're not.
I want to pick a team with a stipulation. I'm gonna pick a team with a stipulation. I'm a grown man, Ray.
But see
Ray,
now,
you ain't heard about Claude and Ray.
But see now, that's when rules come into play. Because how do we keep it honest?
Rules on the fly.
How do we keep it honest though?
You keep it honest by typing exactly what that is. If Melby says he's going to take the Patriots, if Cam sits out and Stidham plays, that's exactly what I would type in. If he said that,
I wouldn't.
He didn't say that.
I'd pick a straight up winner.
Well, it's not about
a straight up winner no matter what. Anyways,
it's not about if you would or not. I'm using a situation. It's called a euphemism. I'm using it as propaganda. Okay. If y'all were to say last week, I'll pick the Panthers over Atlanta if Christian McCaffrey starting, I would have typed that in. And if Christian McCaffrey started, I would have given you the tally, bro.
We are speaking with Lamont right now.
Yes,
this
we
is
are.
Lamont answer,
Tell me one crazy
Chad,
thing.
this is a side of Lamont that we were talking about with you earlier.
Such a Lamont answer. I'm a grown man. You're not gonna force me.
Tell me what's unreasonable. Tell me what's unreasonable. Tell me one unreasonable thing that I said.
Because right now we need a yes or no. It's literally yes or no. No stipulations. Yes or no. Are you going with the Browns or are you going with the Raiders? That's all. That's it.
But why is it that way? is what I'm asking you.
Because that's how
Why
it's been
isn't it-
every
That's
week.
how it's
Why
picked
isn't it-
every
why
single week.
isn't
Even the
informed-
analysts do it that way.
Why, as an informed analyst of the NFL on a sports-based podcast, can I not say if this team is without their best two players, I'm going against them, but if their two best players on offense end up starting, then I'm going with them?
Because it gives you an out.
How is
You
it an
either-
out?
It gives you an out because either you ride with the team or you don't.
I
No,
agree.
that's crazy,
That's
bro.
facts.
No, I ride with the Dallas Cowboys. I have a team. These two teams I don't give a crap about, bro. So I will
that
put a
means you just pick a
stipulation on
clear winner then.
No, y'all
We're
trying to
not,
mess up my record because
listen,
y'all.
we're not gonna win this. We're
Because
not gonna
hiatus,
win.
yeah,
Look,
hiatus,
you're not
last
gonna win
place.
this,
I'm
bro.
talking to Mel.
Let it go.
If you're not first, you're last. If
On,
hiatus,
you're not
you're
first,
last.
on to the next game, chat.
I'm talking to Melby right now.
On to the next game, chat.
Hiatus
On to the next game, chat.
Hiatus picked Cleveland against Pittsburgh. He can't say
I
nothing.
did, and you're about to make the same mistake. You're picking them against the Raiders.
He
Hey, that's the
is.
Raiders, not
We are
Pittsburgh,
so
bro.
ready to run this in his
That's
face,
the
chat.
Raiders, not Pittsburgh.
We are so
bro.
ready to
Oh,
run this
man.
in his face. Next
Y'all
game,
trying to
guys.
run
We
out
actually got a good
insane.
game here. Fairly
Come on
good
now.
game. We have Indianapolis coming off the bye week against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Detroit just played pretty good last week, and like Lamb says, they're getting better on defense. They made an accusation this week, but he's not going to play this week. They gained Everson Griffin, defensive end from Minnesota this week off of a trade. He is inactive this week, so we won't be able to see how much better that defense gets on that front. But this is going to be a good game because it looks like DeAndre Swift has taken over as the number one running back there in Detroit as well over Adrian Peterson.
And he's good.
Hey, DeAndre Swift is nice, and I said this a couple of podcasts ago, and you didn't believe me if he could keep up his consistency. And
Didn't believe you.
You.
What did I say about?
I
Bro,
straight
don't make
up
me
said
repeat
in the
stream.
next
Don't
game,
make me
because I
repeat
said that
stream.
DeAndre Swift went off, and I was like, can we see this continue from DeAndre Swift? And you said no.
What?
Yes.
I'm the only one who picked the Detroit Lions to win,
But
bro.
you specifically
What are
said
y'all
it about
talking- what are you
DeAndre Swift,
talking
though, and I
about?
remember it for a fact.
Hiatus. Stop this man from dreaming, having disillusion.
I remember it for a fact.
Hiatus. Have I even ever said the
Disillusion.
name Swift? Have I even ever
I
said?
don't recall it, but I mean, I
You
can't.
can go back.
say.
I'm positive. This is week
Let's-
8.
Let's
This
put some
was
money
2
on it.
podcasts ago because that's when
Let's put some
DeAndre
money
Swift
on it.
went off. I
put some money
mentioned
on it.
it, and you
I've
said
been
no.
just for the record. I've been the only person talking about the
This was
Rams
all
are getting
we
better.
didn't pick
and the
Detroit
Lions getting
overall.
better.
I only stated, can DeAndre Swift keep it up, and you said no. And now you're saying DeAndre Swift
No,
is a
you're
monster.
talking about Kenyon Drake. You said Kenyon Drake.
On Halloween.
You said Kenyon Drake, bro. See, y'all trying to get away with saying this stuff that ain't being fact checked on stream.
I said DeAndre Swift. I remember
No,
this.
bro.
I'm gonna go
Nope.
watch it after this.
Melby, I will bet you 25 gifted subs that had never come out of my mouth. 25 gifted subs that's never come out of my mouth, bro.
Man, you better go do that research. Get them 25.
Yep. Go ahead, because I ain't never said that, bro. We ain't never talked about. I ain't never
Yes,
talked about.
we
Swift.
talked about DeAndre Swift before because I remember bringing it up.
You could be talking about him on the podcast, but I ain't never commented on him. Nope.
I'm pretty positive because I know
25
hiatus
gifted
didn't
subs,
say it.
bro. 25 gifted
Nah, it
subs.
wasn't me.
See,
I ain't
I ain't never
Hiatus don't even, Hiatus remembers what I say. He knows I ain't saying nothing about no damn sweat.
I'm pretty fine. I'm gonna take a look at it after this one.
No, you can't count on me because I said that you said something on last podcast. And
Oh yeah,
went
we can check that
with
too.
Melby, and you were like, "Nope, I ain't never say that either." So I don't
we
want to
can
be a
check
part of it.
We can check it.
I'm gonna look. I am gonna look.
Mhm.
But this is
I
gonna
want
be
you
a
to
good
clip
game,
it
guys.
and
And
send it to me. I'm the only one who picked Detroit last week to win, by the way, chat. I'm the only one. They trying to make a
I don't
mockery
like
of me
Phillip
right now.
Rivers this year. Indy's struggling on offense with Phillip Rivers, and Stafford's looking good. And as long as that offense can stay healthy, Detroit's looking decent. I'm picking Detroit in this one.
This one is a harder choice for me than the Raiders and Browns, and I'll tell you
I don't
why.
trust Phillip Rivers.
Because the Colts
and
have
Phillip
the best
Rivers is without his
line.
favorite target this week as well, Mo Alley Cox, who's a tight end, who favors tight ends.
They have the best O-line and the best D-line overall. One might be ranked number 4, the other might be ranked number 7. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's first place, but I'm saying as a team, teams usually have a really good offensive line and a crap defensive line, or vice versa. But Indianapolis, they have a top 10 in both. Top 10 in both, offensive line and defensive line. And the Colts love to run that football. They are not relying upon Phillip Rivers' arm this season at all. He's kind of pulling a Ryan Tannehill. We're only going to need him to throw when we need him to throw. But Detroit might be one of the worst run defense teams. They might be one of the worst run defense teams. So I'm kind of torn.
But Indy's run game has been injured this year. They've been struggling.
I'm gonna have to ride. I picked Detroit last week. I picked them again a week before that. I'm gonna ride with and I'm gonna stay with Detroit Lions. They're just healthier, and I'll always choose the healthier team over the team with
even though everyone's been hyped on Jonathan Taylor so far since he's taken over that role in the second week, he only has 367 yards on the ground.
Yeah, well, when you can't get the pass play working, everyone's just going to load the box.
For having a number one, for having a top tier offensive line, that's not fairly good.
Well, they also have no wide receivers, but
they got T.Y. Hilton, who used to be one of the best wide receivers in the league until he got hurt.
Yeah,
and he's also the leading wide receiver so far for them this year with only 242 yards.
Exactly.
That's terrible.
Let's let you know they've invested all their money into planning on having Andrew Luck still playing football, but he's not. Because this would be the perfect team for Andrew Luck, by the way. The Colts have built the perfect team for Andrew Luck, but it's too late. Hiatus, who you going with? Me and Melby got Lions.
It's tough.
It's rough, right? I think the Lions' run defense is horrible, and that's all the Colts want to do. I think they're going to run it down their throat. That's what I think is going to happen.
And when you look at the teams that they played, like, that also is crazy because, like, Detroit beat Arizona.
Yep.
And it's like, you want to go with Detroit, but, like, matchups matter.
They do.
And that's the problem, because if you're able to exploit that whole any given Sunday kind of comes into play.
That's facts.
Because if you're horrible at running and they're halfway decent at running, that gives them a great opportunity to win this game. And it's tough because, like, when you look at the injury report for Detroit, so much of their defense is injured.
Yes.
Yeah, they have horrible rushing defense, bro. Horrible.
Oh my gosh, man. I want to say
their whole secondary is hurt, basically.
Bro,
exactly.
The Colts are going to run out there, and they're going to run that football. But I still got to go with Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones Jr., Matt Stafford, Swift, and what's that damn tight end that I love so much? Hawkinson.
TJ
Hawkinson. I gotta run with that, bro.
And also, you can't forget about Adrian Peterson backing up DeAndre Swift either.
The Detroit Lions are 16th in defense. They're the 16th ranked defense.
And they're only going to get better with Everson Griffin in that defensive end once he gets in there next week.
Colts are the 3rd ranked defense.
So,
I'm still taking Detroit.
Man, this is tough.
Colts have a buttload of injuries.
Yeah, but, like, here's the thing. Like, even though they're, like, look at who the Colts played, though. They really haven't really played.
Actually, Colts have 2 injuries this week, and both are on offense, who are key injuries.
Yeah. but like they haven't really played anybody. So I'm gonna have to go with Detroit just because of the fact of who they played and the fact that their defense is getting better.
That's true as well.
If they're able at some way to stop that run, then it's gonna be a quick GG. It'll be a quick GG's. It'll be a quick good night. But it's just gonna like that defense has to play top tier for them to get this that W. Like they can't give anything to
and Stafford's
Indiana.
got a cannon, so and Stafford's healthy this year.
The only reason that I run with Detroit is because this is going to be the first test for Indianapolis. They haven't played anybody.
No, they haven't.
They're entire you're 4-2, but
they played the Browns, but that's probably the best competition they've played this year.
Like you haven't played the Raiders, you haven't played the Rams, you haven't played Green Bay,
Tampa Bay,
you ain't played Arizona. Like you ain't played nobody that would challenge you. So I can't just say that Indianapolis would beat a team when Detroit has actually played and beat competition. So I'm going with Detroit. It's tough.
Matt Stafford might be the most sacked quarterback in the league. He's up there.
Yeah.
He's definitely up there.
So,
I'm more concerned. We all picked the Lions.
We're all picking Lions?
Yeah, but I'm more concerned about that. I'm not really worried about Indianapolis's offense as much as I'm worried about the Indianapolis defensive line making Matt Stafford run the same way the Rams D-line made Nick Foles run for his life the entire game. That's what I'm most concerned about.
Right. Next game is also interesting. Factor of Dalvin Cook coming back from Minnesota against Green Bay, when Green Bay is still without one of the best running backs in the league in Aaron Jones. It is in Green Bay. Dalvin Cook makes this fairly interesting because Dalvin Cook is that good. He'll open things up for Adam Thielen at the same time as well. But we saw Williams go off last week for Green Bay and filled in fairly nice for Aaron Jones. And then it's also Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams show.
Boom. Enough said.
And it's in Green Bay. So I think that writes it by itself. Green Bay over Minnesota in this one for me.
Hey, I'm looking at your face, man.
He's struggling on this one because of the Dalvin Cook factor.
It's because Dalvin
Cook is that good.
If that man gets going, oh my God.
Dalvin Cook is that good.
Season, he's up there.
I know Dalvin Cook. That's FSU. That's my boy. Listen, man. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's a tough game.
That is so tough, man. Because if he gets going, it's going to
be hard.
It's going to be hard to stop.
I want to say last year he had a really good game last year against them where he gashed them for like 200 all-purpose yards.
I remember. All right, so what this will come down to, I will go with Green Bay for the simple fact that I can't expect too much from Dalvin Cook. I would love to say that he's going to go off, but I mean, this is his first game back. They're not going to try to push him too much with his first game back. And I just believe that if it comes down to a battle of quarterbacks, you got to side with Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, the only time that I would have taken a team over Aaron Rodgers is after he got his ass spanked. That's the opportunity that you have to keep it going. But if you miss your opportunity, hey, it's on you. It's on you.
He bet against Aaron Rodgers.
I did, bro.
But the other team was the Houston Texans.
I did, and they played a hell of a game too.
They really did.
They did not lay down. I didn't feel bad about my pick at all.
You should. They lost. I feel bad about
Hey,
every pick
I don't care. You learn a lot from L's, and they played their ass off in that game, and they did have opportunities, and I pointed that out. There were 2 possessions that they got field goals that were not touchdowns, and we would be having a different conversation. But at the same time, kudos to Green Bay. They won. They did what they needed to do.
Aaron Rodgers gouged them boys for like 400 passing yards and 4 touchdowns.
And still, they were 2 touchdown possessions from taking that game.
14 points. And still, they needed...
Bro, listen. Yeah, we can say that, but look at where those field goals were from. They were within striking distance. That's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, 14 points because they kicked field goals instead of getting touchdowns, but they were damn close.
I was pretty close. Minnesota ended up losing that game last year, but he gashed them for 154 yards on the ground.
A 2-score game is not close. There's no such thing as a 2-score game that's close.
Bro, this is the equivalent of like what we talked about when it came to the Lakers versus Miami. If Jimmy Butler doesn't get tired and play all those minutes, we might be talking about a different championship. Exactly.
Game 7, yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. They ran out of gas, but they played their ass off, and I have to take my hat off. Like, I gotta give them props. Like, this was not the same game. Like when I said, okay, well, what was the game? Pittsburgh and the Browns. Oh, well, Browns are gonna beat them, and then they got smacked, and then only scored 7 points. That's not the same thing. Like, them boys played their ass off, and they came up short.
No, bro, 2 scores is not close in football. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of first downs. Like,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying
for coming in and needing 2 touchdowns. We could say that about any team. All they needed was 2 more touchdowns. What?
Nah, it doesn't. It's not. Yeah, but it's not the same when you had 2 possessions that you were close in, and instead of getting touchdowns, you kick field goals. And those 2 pivotal possessions could have been the difference in that game. That's the only thing that I'm saying. If you take those 2 possessions off, and let's say that it was a 40-some-odd field goal or a 50-something field goal, okay, yeah, y'all, it is what it is. But they were close enough that they could have walked off with that game if they executed. That's all I'm saying.
So what you're saying is a football team, as an NFL football team, if they could have played better, they could have won the football game? You can say that about every NFL team, Hiatus.
That's not what I'm saying. They had 2 possessions. 2 possessions where if they could have capitalized, we would be talking about a different outcome. That's it. That's all I'm saying. 2 possessions, and we would be talking about a different outcome. In those 2 possessions, they walked away with 3 instead of 7, and so that's why we're having this conversation of them being, two possessions down.
You got a point.
I'm going to say what I said last week. The best Texas football teams are both high school football teams.
I got you.
As soon as Aaron Rodgers stepped out on that field, just like as soon as the Washington football stepped out on that field, the Cowboys lost and the Texans lost that game.
I will never forgive them for that, but whatever. I will never forgive them for that, but whatever, bro.
All right, who y'all got?
Yeah, we all took the Packers.
All taking Packers?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we all took the Packers.
Next game, fairly easy. This one's no doubt about it. Kansas City and New York Jets. Kansas City's gonna.
Oh my
they're
God!
Gonna roll the Jets. If Kansas City doesn't pull 50 in this game, there's something wrong with Kansas City.
No, they're just being nice if they don't put 50.
Nah,
like
they're pulling 50 in this game.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
I don't even think we even have to ask any one of us about this game.
Because I know, I know the Panthers are going through stuff. The Cowboys are going through stuff. But what the hell have the Jets been doing for 10 Years.
Yeah.
Trading everybody away that they mistakenly drafted in the past 10 years.
Quarterback, don't like him. We'll draft another quarterback. Don't like him. We'll draft another quarterback. Well, don't like him. What are y'all doing? Jets, what are y'all doing? What have y'all been doing? How come no front office staff has been fired? Who is the owner of this calamity? They're not even there. It's one thing if you're Jerry Jones and your team is trash and everyone else hates you, but you're still making hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Facts.
But the Jets aren't even doing that. Like, they're not selling tickets. They're not. They're not even getting primetime games. You know what I mean? No one's watching them. No one gives a crap. They're not selling jerseys or hats and all that stuff. All the Jets fans have already had that stuff from previous years. Like, I don't understand how this is even a franchise. Whatever happened to selling the team and relocating? Please.
Firing or getting a new owner like the Mets just did.
Like, you can only blame it on the players and coaches for so long. That goes for Dallas Cowboys and the New York Football Jets. You can only blame players and make trades and fire coordinators and head coaches for so long until everyone's looking at you now. How many more new coaches need to come in? How many more offensive coordinators? You're going to bring Cooper Rush back, Dallas? Oh, now we have confidence. What are you doing? What are you doing? Jets, what are you doing? Are we really going to blame Adam Gase? Are we going to blame the next coach that y'all bring in too? Can we get Sam Darnold some stability? Because I feel like he's a better quarterback than to be with this crappy team. That's just how I feel.
He about to be traded out of there anyways.
Sam Darnold is not the problem on that team at all, and I feel bad for him.
But
so Trevor,
they're trying to trade him
Lawrence,
to get a draft pick for him.
Run. Because I know you're in here, Trevor. I know you got COVID. I know
Trevor,
you got your
if
mask
you get
on,
drafted by the Jets, pull an
here.
Eli Manning and get traded.
Run. Don't look back.
Pull an Eli and get traded.
Don't look back. Run. Do not go to the Jets. Nobody.
Next game going into this one. Speaking of Tua and Dangalang, we have the LA Rams, who Lamb is so hyped about, playing the new look Miami Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa.
I'm taking Rams.
I'm taking Rams.
Say, what?
We're all taking Rams in this one. I have to take Rams in this one too. You got a rookie quarterback coming in.
Bro, you don't break chemistry. I don't care what sport you're in. Yeah. You don't break chemistry.
You don't break what's going on.
To bring somebody new in and then think, oh well, it'll work out. Like,
well, that's
okay.
I mean, that's a good point. That's not the reason they're going to lose, or that's not the main reason they're going to lose. But yeah, you're right.
Miami's put up really good fights against really good teams this year. You forget they beat the crap out of San Francisco.
Yep.
Out of a San Francisco banged up defense without the second best defensive player in the NFL is Nick Bosa. He's hands down the second best NFL defensive player, and he's out. The Miami Dolphins are about to go up
San Francisco
against
defense
Aaron
is still good without Bosa.
Donald, bro. Y'all know how I feel about this man. I believe he should be MVP because of what you have to do just to get him away from you. Sometimes you have to put 3 dudes on this man. And I know he's not scoring touchdowns at any time in any sports, in any team sports. We think about who has the most points, right? Or who scores them. That should be MVP. But Aaron Donald is a machine, okay? Is a machine. That's why Miami's going to lose this game. I would not be, not only if I was a Miami Dolphin, would I be against this and would I be having serious conversations with the coaching staff, even if I'm not Tua or even if I'm not a quarterback, right? Even if I'm a wide receiver, I'm like, you're going to start him against the best defensive player in the NFL? That's like saying, "Hey, Melby, we drafted you as a rookie as a rookie quarterback, and your first game is going to be starting against a healthy San Francisco 49ers who had the #1 defense in the league, and Nick Bosa was eating souls on the field last season." Like, who does that? Who does that? Dang, if you're still in chat, I want to know who does that, bro. Because this looks like the dumbest, like, as bad as the Panthers are, as bad as the Cowboys are, as bad as the Jets are, we're playing with what we got. right? Like the Panthers are playing with who they have. Christian McCaffrey's out. Like they're playing with who they have. The Cowboys, Dak Prescott is out. Offensive linemen are injured. We're playing with who we have. The same thing for Cincinnati, playing without Joe Mixon. They got to play with who they have. The Miami Dolphins are taking a different approach, Hiatus and Melby. They're saying we could play with who we have and we've been successful with, but let's change it up. It's by choice. It's not by default. They're putting themselves in a stupid situation when they absolutely don't have to. They've already proved that they're an above average team. I'm not going to give them the GOOD word, but they've already proved that they're an above average team. This is a big mistake, especially, and Melby, you know all too well because you follow college football way closer than I do about Tua's previous injuries.
That hip injury was no joke. They said that he was going to be lucky if he walked and even came back to play football again.
And they're going to start him against Aaron Donald. I don't know.
A dislocation of hip and everything else to go along with it is no joke.
I do not understand, bro. All right, we're all taking the Rams. I mean, I don't understand. Whoa. So are y'all taking the Rams because you believe they're a good balanced football team on offense and defense and finds multiple ways to win?
No, I'm just taking the Rams because they're going against a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, because the Dolphins are being stupid.
Pretty much.
If it was the opposite way around and Fitz was starting this game, it'd be a hard game to choose.
You would take Fitzmagic over Aaron Donald and Jalen.
You never know what Fitz is ever going to do, and we've seen that in previous years. Look what he did with Tampa against Drew Brees. The years that he was with Tampa in the first 5 games, dude was setting off records, and nobody was expecting that to ever happen. Dude was averaging 410 yards a game for the first 5 games of the year. You never know what you're going to get with Fitz. He can bring it out on any given week, on any given Sunday.
All right. I will take your word for it. I'm still, for the 3rd week in a row, I'm still going to ask. I don't care what Fitzmagic has done against teams that didn't have good defenses or that didn't have a legitimate pass rush. I'm talking about Aaron Donald.
You're talking a couple of years ago, Saints were a top 5 defense, and they had a very good pass rush.
You can be a top 5 defense with Aaron Donald is the best defensive pass rusher I've seen since J.J. Watt in his prime. I'm sorry. Because J.J. Watt in his prime was also eating souls, just like Nick Bosa was last year. And Aaron Donald was I'm telling you, dude, just
I'm not putting nothing against Aaron Donald.
Maybe I'm saucing him up a little too much, and it's making y'all not want to love him. But I'm telling you, Aaron Donald, he is that guy. He is that guy. He's my MVP. Cheers to Aaron Donald. Cheers.
Next game, guys. The last undefeated team in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers are in Baltimore this week. Baltimore is without one of their running backs in Mark Ingram this week, I believe, which is very key. So that means they're turning to the rookie running back, which they've done already this year, and Dobbins. So it'll be interesting regarding that. But can Lamar Jackson pull out some of his magic to take off the last undefeated team in the league? Or is Pittsburgh going to keep rolling and doing their thing on what they've been doing this year?
I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Yep, I'm going with Steelers.
I have to agree as well. Pittsburgh on both sides of the ball is too dominant in this one.
Not only is Mark Ingram out, but you're questionable on Jimmy Smith. You're questionable on Anthony Levine.
Yep.
Cornerback and safety, you're going to need them. You're going to need them to stop.
And one of the best pass playing teams in the league right now. Ben Roethlisberger is not just looking at Juju Smith-Schuster. He's spreading the love around everybody. Everybody and everybody. Even Eric Ebron and the tight end's been getting into the mix.
Mark Ingram not being in this game, that did it for me. Because honestly, and I will say this honestly, with Mark Ingram in the game, Mark Ingram is liable and capable of having a 150-yard, 3-touchdown game if he's fully healthy and getting all the snaps. The
Not
man
against
can
a
run.
Pittsburgh front like that, though.
The man can run. This is Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram bulldozed everybody when they thought he was going to be nothing. They thought Alvin Kamara was the reason that the New Orleans offense. Remember, everyone was like, "Oh, the Saints still kept Kamara." No, the best running back definitely was Mark Ingram. He left and dominated, bro. He dominated. He was running through people like beast mode, bro. Like with Mark Ingram, he's one of those running backs where you have guaranteed touchdowns if you get into the red zone. If you get into a goal line set, you're getting a touchdown.
Facts.
Like if he's just that strong, bro. It's like how Detroit, they'll put in Adrian Peterson for a few plays. It'll be those plays, those goal lines.
I just think the way Pittsburgh that front been playing this year, even if he's in this game, that Pittsburgh front wears him down this game. That Pittsburgh front's been too good this year.
My point is, and we're definitely all going with Steelers. The only point that I want to make is going back to the Tennessee Titans game. Tennessee Titans. Think about having they would have won that game if it wasn't for a few calls and a couple of miscues or whatever. But imagine that same football team, because the Baltimore Ravens football team and the Tennessee Titans football team are very similar outside of one facet, and that's the quarterback. So if you get a Lamar Jackson who can just take off because everyone's worried about a Derrick Henry or a Mark Ingram, this becomes a very different ballgame. So since Mark Ingram's not in the ballgame, I have to go Pittsburgh 100%.
Next is JJ's LA Chargers in Denver, here in Colorado, where I'm currently located. This one's going to be interesting, guys. Denver gets back Philip Lindsay in this game. Chargers have been looking fairly good under the helm of Justin Herbert. Herbert's almost taken off a couple of the top-notch teams this year, and between him and Burrow, they're probably the best drafted quarterbacks to come out of the draft this year as well. Denver's not a slouch. And they've actually been playing kind of decent here in the last couple of weeks. They ended up beating the Patriots, and they ended up getting their ass whipped against Kansas City, but that was going to be a known fact anyways. And then they almost beat the Steelers earlier this year and only lost to the Titans by 2 points. So Denver's no slouch. But the key thing for me in this one is the Chargers' defense is much better. And I think that's going to be the overwhelming factor in this one, just because Denver is hurt on that side of the football as well. That, and have they solved their issues with good old Melvin Gordon?
That is a good question. I honestly think the Broncos are a better defensive team than the Chargers. I mean, not by a whole lot, but it's because of, their defense. The Broncos
Your dry skin story changes from one day to the next.
Melvin Gordon
Try use for an advanced repair and switch. It doubles your skin's moisture
I'm surprised
and
he didn't
repairs
get
dry skin
suspended.
over time.
I
So
don't know if
tomorrow
that's
can
gonna
be a
end up
different
still
story.
coming in the
Use
future or
recommended
not,
and used by
but
dermatologists.
there hasn't been an
Melvin
outcome
Gordon
regarding that. Normally when you get a guy in a
the Los
DUI
Angeles
case
Chargers this week
regarding
will be a
that, you normally see a
revenge game narrative, but
suspension
maybe,
right after. So
I think also
it's been
put into
2
this
weeks
conversation
since that
is to find out
DUI,
why
so I'm
Philip
kind of curious
Lindsay
on
has
why
been
he
banged
hasn't
up.
been
Is
suspended
he
yet, because that
concussion
normally
protocol as
follows
well?
a 3-game
is,
suspension.
and not practicing on Wednesdays. You know
Well,
how this
if
goes.
it's still marked down as an illness, because the league hasn't said anything about a DUI.
No, it says DUI. He actually came out and apologized for getting the DUI.
So why hasn't that's weird that the league hasn't said anything.
He straight out came out and said he was sorry for his DUI. So I'm kind of curious on why he hasn't gotten the suspension yet.
I think the Broncos are too banged up to win this game.
Yeah, defensively, I don't think they're gonna have a way to stop Herbert. I'm picking Chargers in this one.
Agreed.
Yep,
Joey
same.
Bosa. Come on, Joey
Yeah,
Bosa.
Joey Bosa's on the opposite side of that football, and Denver's
That's a problem.
missing weapons on the offense. Cortland Sutton's out for the year. We've seen how much that's affected the Denver offense already in the last couple of weeks as well. Next one, it's going to be hard to pick. You have New Orleans at Chicago. We stated earlier, New Orleans only has 2 wide receivers that's going to be healthy this week. There's still no Michael Thomas. It's gonna be the Alvin Kamara show. Can Drew Brees figure out another person in that offense to get the ball to, and are they going to be able to stop if Khalil Mack goes, because he's questionable in this game. If Khalil Mack goes, can Khalil Mack create enough pressure on defense to slow Drew Brees down at the same time too? This one's hard for me to pick because you can never count out Drew Brees whatsoever.
I'm taking the Saints.
Same.
It's Drew Brees.
Exactly.
I can't go against him. I don't care if Alvin Kamara was injured. I got to take Drew Brees versus the Bears because I've never believed in the Bears. Not this season. I don't believe that Nick Foles is a regular season quarterback. I don't believe that they have enough wide receiver talent. Allen Robinson is amazing, but they need more than just him. And I don't like their run game. So I don't think they're going to be able to get it done on offense against CJ Mosley and Lattimore. And I don't know if they score a touchdown outside of just field goals unless it's on special teams.
I don't know why that popped in the chat. That was a first. I
blocked him, don't worry.
Nah, I got him too. I banned him. This one's hard. We've seen it the last couple of games. Alvin Kamara's been a monster. But that Chicago defense forces turnovers, and that Chicago defense is no joke. This one's hard. Because Chicago ended up pulling out the win against the Buccaneers. And then...
Was that because of Chicago's goodness or because Brady drank all the bong water?
Nick Foles is Brady's new kryptonite over Eli Manning. Well, we've seen that every time Foles has played Brady. And then they also beat your Detroit Lions in the beginning of the year.
They're not my Detroit Lions. I said the Detroit Lions since week 3 are one of the only teams in the NFL that's getting better on defense every week. Since week 3. Since week 3. When did the Bears play them?
They've in the first week.
I'm
just stating, though, just stating.
I wish at this point, I wish my team was the Detroit Lions, okay? Because you know who my team is. So I don't want to talk about it. I know that I literally
I'll pick New Orleans in this one. This one's hard for me. This one's really because it's in Chicago, and I want to. It's going to be cold in Chicago, I believe, too. And Drew Brees doesn't play good in the cold. Yeah, it's only going to be 39 degrees in Chicago. I'm picking Saints, but it's going to be a very tough game for Drew Brees.
Oh, I already have all Saints. Nice.
This next one is probably game of the week, just because of the matchup and how everything does match up. We got San Francisco at Seattle. As we mentioned, Seattle is very banged up in the running back core. All 3 of their main running backs are currently on the injury report. Hyde is doubtful for the game. Travis Homer is a game time decision. And their main running back is questionable with a foot injury, and Chris Carson. San Francisco gains Tevin Coleman back. Tevin Coleman's no slouch. We've seen it in the past with San Francisco as well. When he's healthy and gets the opportunity, he goes off. You also have George Kittle. There ain't nobody on that Seattle defense that's going to stop George Kittle at all. Seattle defense. Seattle's been so dominant on the offense, though, between DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett.
In San Francisco.
San Fran.
What did he say?
He said San Fran.
Okay. I had already typed all Seahawks, but let me change that now.
He said San Fran.
Wow.
I don't listen. I can explain my pick. At this point, after what I've seen happen with Russell Wilson last week, I don't trust him. I don't trust him to close out games.
He was the reason they lost that game.
Exactly.
That's true. The reason they lost that game.
Exactly. So when you get into a game to where the teams are pretty much evenly matched, it comes down to quarterback leadership. And so I've seen what San Francisco has been on the bottom fighting their way up. Seattle has been on the top kind of just skating by because they really didn't have to play too much comp until they ran into like Arizona, and then it was like, we actually have to play. It's like, yeah, this is football. So I think that if they're playing San Francisco is going to give them 110%, and they get smacked in the mouth. I don't trust Russell like I would trust a Tom Brady. I don't trust him like I would trust Aaron Rodgers to rally at the end of a game. Like, these guys have proven that they can rally and they can take it home. And he had an opportunity to do it and he didn't. And that just brings into question if he's going to be able to do that. I don't trust it. That's just me.
What do you think, Melby?
Looking at the injury report, we still don't know if Jamal Adams is going to be back for that defense.
He will.
He's questionable still. He's out with that groin and illness all week long. He was only a limited participant on Friday and didn't practice the rest of the week. And then another one of their top corners, Shaquille Griffin, is also out with a concussion still. And then if those three running backs don't play, or even if one of them plays and then gets hurt and they end up going to the rookie, and then we saw what Russell Wilson did last week and throwing the game, and we saw that in previous games and meaningful games, even in the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
And this is the reason why the percentage between San Francisco and Seattle is literally split by like...
George Kittle's about to have a field day with how injured the Seahawks defense is.
Like over a point.
If Kittle doesn't walk away with a 150-yard game in this one, especially with two wide receivers being out, George Kittle's going to be the main focal point in this game besides Tevin Coleman. Kittle's walking away with a field day in this one, and there ain't nobody stopping him. And
so, Melby, are you taking
I'm siding with hiatus. I'm going San Fran in this one. With how injured this Seattle team is, their whole defense is hurt. Their two main safeties are hurt. Ugo Madi is doubtful. Jamal Adams is still groin illness. He's questionable. Their top corner is out. Their three main running backs don't know if they're gonna play. Like, there are too many questions in this game. Way too many questions. and too many injuries on defense. I have to go San Francisco. And it's a divisional game. San Francisco's played this game very hard in the last couple of years.
With the third pick in week 2 of the Mels Shady Just for Bad Sportscast wins and losses picks, the Lambs choose the Seattle Seahawks. I picked the 49ers last week and was correct. All right, because I like the matchup.
I picked them too.
This week, I do not like the matchup.
I love the matchup.
Russell Wilson was the reason why they lost last week, and he is going to be the reason why they win this week. The San Francisco 49ers are just not healthy enough on offense. All right? And I haven't seen one person in the NFL who's been able to stop DK Metcalf. Not one. Not one person who's also been able to stop Julio Jones. Not one. So I think the Seahawks win this game by pulling the old, even though it's new, I'm going to call it the Tom Brady Mike Evans. They cannot hold Mike Evans, so you know what they do? They hold him. Defense, pass interference, 15 yards. Defense, pass interference, 15 yards. That's exactly what's going to happen in this game. Penalties are going to kill the San Francisco 49ers because they're not going to be able to cover DK Metcalf. And look what Tyler Lockett was able to do last week.
He had 200 plus yards and 2 scores last week.
DK, you don't know who to guard if you're in the secondary of San Francisco, because Russell Wilson, it could go either way. But I haven't seen one defender be able to stop. Actually, if you look at their stats for the season, I haven't seen really any defenders been able to stop Tyler Lockett either. This guy's good for a touchdown a game and almost 100 yards of receiving per game. I'm going to choose this passing offense over this defense without Nick Bosa. With Nick Bosa, I pick the 49ers 100%. Without Nick Bosa, that's how much he disrupts everything. That's how much he disrupted everything. Because remember, the Seahawks had this exact same offense last year. They had DK Metcalf last year.
For him to be out there.
They had
First of all,
Tyler
there's
Lockett
the
last year.
optics
But the San Francisco 49ers defense was eating souls. Nick Bosa showed out.
Do lotion and jeans go
Without
together?
Nick Bosa,
A
I do
Nivea
not believe
breathable
the 49ers
experiment.
win this game. I don't like the matchup for the San Francisco 49ers.
Now they do.
I wish GMD Geek was in here
Moisturizes
so he could hear
deeply
me
with
say
no
this,
sticky feel.
but the
The
Seattle Seahawks are
game-changing
gonna beat the San
Nivea
Francisco
breathable.
49ers.
I don't like those auto videos that start. It annoys me. Yeah, I see what you're saying for Seattle, but I just don't think they're picking off this game. I really don't.
If I'm gonna choose, they're just better at every position. Y'all know how I choose. The same reason I picked the Rams over the Bears. They were better at every position. I'll take Aaron Donald over Khalil Mack. I'll take Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp over Allen Robinson, and I'll take Jared Goff over Nick Foles. And the only good player they had was Nick Foles. In this, I'll take Russell Wilson over Jimmy G. I'll take DK Metcalf over whatever the hell wide receivers are even going to be starting for San Francisco, because Marquise Goodwin, he opted out because he had twins for COVID. Emmanuel Sanders is gone. They're just not the same team on offense. So and Jamal Williams will play. Bobby Wagner, they just have better players right now. It might not be that way the entire season. And I believe they play each other again before the season. I think they might play the Seahawks. Yeah, they play the Seahawks again.
Yeah, they play each other twice. It's a divisional rivalry. They finish off each other in the last game of the season.
Yep. If the San Francisco 49ers are healthy at that point, I'll take the 49ers 100% of the time if they have all their starters in, aside from Nick Bosa. But they're going to need to be healthier than this to stop DK Metcalf, because no one has been able to thus far. And I fail to believe that a banged-up defense without all their defensive starters is going to be able to stop DK Metcalf when teams with their full 100% healthy defenses haven't been able to slow down DK Metcalf, who I believe can play offense and defense if he really wanted to, by the way. That's a big boy.
He is a monster.
Did you see Julio Jones pulling a DK Metcalf as well on that
I did.
that Thursday night football game, bro? That's some incredible footage right there.
This next one's a toss-up, chat. You got the tanking Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles in another divisional matchup. Does Dallas really blow another divisional matchup and give Philly another game? And does Dallas truly tank in another divisional game? Lamb over here shaking his head yes.
I heard they're tanking, so I'm going with Philly.
Yep. And Carson Wentz is amazing. I know y'all still don't believe in him, but look what he's doing without his offensive stars. The only person he has is Miles Sanders. That's it. Just
Miles
a running
Sanders
back.
is out this game.
Exactly. So even more, we're going to see the greatness that is Carson Wentz. I like Carson Wentz as a person.
Carson Wentz is too turnover prone.
I hate without
Way
his top
too
wide
turnover
receivers,
prone.
bro. Without his top wide receivers, man. It's
Only
just like
one
Cam
top
Newton,
wide
bro.
receiver.
It's just like Cam Newton, bro. He doesn't have a top wide receiver to throw to. It's just like Jimmy G. Give Jimmy G.
Jimmy G has George Kittle. You can't say that.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I'll give him that. Yeah. Well, see, Carson and Cam don't have either one of those. They ain't got no damn
Carson
Greg
Wentz
Kittle
has
or...
Deshaun Jackson.
Oh my gosh.
You're telling me Deshaun Jackson can't go off at any given moment? We've seen him do it with multiple different quarterbacks and multiple different teams.
He can do it. He can do it for one game out of a 17 game season. Yes, he can.
Yeah, the one game that he comes back and he's healthy.
Yeah, true that. I mean, this guy sneezes and cracks a rib, for Christ's sakes. Like, who is this dude, man? Carson Wentz.
We all taking Philly with the tanking Dallas Cowboys. And this next game is a no-brainer as well, Monday night. I don't even know how this is a primetime game, to be honest with you. Like, why can't the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks be the primetime game on Monday? 'Cause Monday's game is not even going to be worth watching. Why are the Giants playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday Night Football?
Oh, my gosh.
Somebody please tell me this.
Bro, the NFL was counting on Saquon Barkley being...
Even with Saquon Barkley, why would you have that matchup as a Monday Night Football game?
Oh, well, one thing I'll give Saquon Barkley is the man's exciting to watch. You want to talk about being able to break a play at any time?
But the New York Giants on a Monday Night Football game this year, give me a break.
Yeah, it's pretty...
I don't think so. Like, this game shouldn't even be...
It's kind of like how they used to black out the Buck games before. It was like, yeah, we'll let them play, but we're not going to show it on prime time.
I would rather watch the Atlanta Carolina game on Monday Night Football than that Tampa Bay and Giants game. That Tampa Bay and Giants game should have been a Thursday night game. Nobody cares about Thursday games.
That Tampa Bay and Giants game should be like, choose your best player to have a foot race. Whoever wins the game. But you know what I'm saying?
Why is that game on Monday night? I'm disappointed by that one.
Versus Sterling Shepard and call it a day. Foot race. 100-yard dash.
Disappointed by that one. Tampa Bay gonna win at a field day in this one. The same thing with Kansas City. If they don't put up 50 points, there's something wrong.
Yep. I believe every team that's supposed to win will win this week, with the exception of the Cleveland Browns. I think they're supposed to lose, but I think they're actually going to pull out this win against the Raiders.
We're all pretty decided, guys. Hiatus and I have 2 chances to gain Lamb on this one. We got 2 chances.
You can tie it up.
We got the Cleveland Raiders game, and we got the San Fran Seattle game.
Yep.
If we get those 2 games and everyone else wins, we go perfect for the week, chat. And we're tied up with Lamb going into week 3.
And he can stop talking crazy.
If we go perfect this week, do you know how wild that would be?
That would be.
That would be insane.
I will tell you that I don't know if there's ever been a week in the NFL that I picked every single game perfectly. So that will definitely be a feat if y'all pick every single matchup perfectly. I will be shocked, appalled, and amazed all at the same time. That'd be incredible, bro. That's like picking the NCAA
I think
bracket.
we have a really good
You know what I
chance
mean?
at it. I really
That's
do.
like picking an NCAA bracket, bro, for the Final Four. Like that's almost impossible, dude.
I think we
All
have
I'm gonna say is, who picked the World Series and how it was gonna end?
He did. He picked it on point. It should have been a 4-1 if it wasn't for that blunder that the Dodgers had with the 2 errors in that game. But we won't talk about that.
Straight up,
That's gonna upset
4-2,
hiatus.
4-2, straight up.
That's gonna upset hiatus.
And I knew it was gonna happen.
Especially as the Rams keep winning football games over and over. If you want to know why I believe in them too, look at their schedule. I see the only loss coming up might be Seattle Seahawks. I think they're going to beat the Rams every time the 49ers when they play them again. Like I'm just saying.
They do play the Bucks, and I think that is the
that's gonna be a good game
where
that's going to be a very
where
good game.
realization comes into play. If they go in there and they're able to take a W against the Bucks, then my entire tune towards them changes, because I don't really see a team that's taking down the Bucks. Like, they're in a rhythm offensively and defensively right now like no other team is in the league, and they are beating teams.
They're messing them up.
I'm just gonna say the Rams will not beat the Bucks, and I'll tell you why the Rams won't beat the Bucks. It's because they didn't make any moves. By the way, where is the NFC, y'all? Why is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the only team making moves? They're making moves, bro. They're getting better on offense, and no team in the NFL outside from the Detroit Lions is even trying to get better on defense. Like, what is going on?
Everybody is kind of like in a rebuilding stage. It's like, where do we go from here?
Green Bay's made no moves or good draft decisions. The Cardinals have been slowly on their way up. You got to give Cardinals props. They've made moves to get better. So you have to give them that. The Cardinals have gotten better. And then
I don't trust
other than San Francisco, the Cardinals, and the Buccaneers, you haven't really seen a team make any moves outside of those 3 teams in the NFC to get better.
Which is ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't that like ridiculous because so many teams in the NFC still have a shot? You know, it's only mid-season.
A lot of teams. When you look at it, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have the 3-3 Detroit Lions and the 3-5 Carolina Panthers in the hunt right now as the playoffs for the NFC. San Francisco is barely in at 4-3, and the Saints are barely in as the 7th seed at 4-2. San Francisco technically isn't even in the playoffs right now, being in 4-3.
Watch New Orleans get Michael Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders back, and then start putting up 45 points on every single NFL football team, aside from like the Bucks. But watch when Michael Thomas comes back and they're all healthy on that offense.
Oh, Michael Thomas is going to have a field day. I can't wait for him to come back.
They're always a contender. The Rams are always a contender just because of Aaron Donald himself. And the Saints, because of Drew Brees, always a contender. The Packers, because of Aaron, always a contender.
Until he throws it and costs them the game. But whatever.
Moving into quick NBA news real quick, guys. The deadline for the NBA for the new season start was supposed to be yesterday on the 30th. They ended up pushing that back until this coming week. They couldn't come to a decision on that. They're kind of up in the air still, but they really don't want to start in the middle of January, which is kind of a possibility right now, but they really don't want it to because they could lose anywhere to $500 to $1 billion worth of revenue, money towards the league, tickets, all that and the other. The plan is to hopefully come to a decision by this coming Friday. That way they can start the season up like we were talking about right before Christmas. They have to have a 45-day notice to do so to get the new season started. And that would put them on December 22nd would be the first games of the new season. If they did come to a decision this coming Friday here, this coming Friday would put us at, I believe, what day would this coming Friday? That would be the 6th, chat. So that coming forward will determine on exactly when the new season is going to start. They already finalized a date for the NFL draft. It's going to be virtually through ESPN. That is actually going to happen here in 18 days. November 18th is the mark for the NBA draft this year, guys. So that was another key focal point for the NBA this week on what they did mention for everything regarding that. The only other really big news that we've seen regarding anything here, Mike D'Antoni rejoined his former MVP player in Steve Nash with the Brooklyn Nets. They signed 3 assistant coaches this week. D'Antoni, Amari Stoudemire, which still makes no sense to me. And then they signed an assistant coach who used to be with the San Antonio Spurs under Greg Popovich. So he has a great coaching system. And with the signings of everybody, they're thinking that pushes Brooklyn even more up towards a championship contending team. If they can keep KD and Kyrie healthy, that's the main key. Anything you guys want to add into that or anything into the NBA?
It's always going to be about money, man.
It is.
It's always going to be about money.
But unfortunately, cap space is dwindling down and everything as well. That's the other thing. The CBA, I want to believe, expires pretty soon as well regarding everything. And coming to a decision on that, I want to say I was reading on that as well. They're looking at an almost a 50-50 revenue player split here coming in the future. So I don't know if players are going to be too happy regarding that. And you're not going to see a lot of super teams anymore if that does become the focal point of the NBA on going to a 50-50 revenue player split. Just because of how everything's been turning out lately regarding the pandemic, losses of revenue, this, that, and the other. They're trying to salvage a little bit of both.
I think it'll separate once again the Carmelo Anthonys from the Tim Duncans, where you have players who are so competitive they want to win championships, so they'll take way lower money than what they're actually worth,
right,
to be able to stay with pieces around them.
Which means we won't see a whole lot of more supermaxes anymore.
Correct.
Supermaxes are going to drop way down. Right now, if Giannis was to sign a supermax this year, remember Steph Curry's supermax a couple of years ago? Dude signed a supermax for, what was it, $300-some million. The supermax this year, 2 years later, chat, 5 years for Giannis for only $220 million now. They've lost almost $100 million in cap space over the last couple of years. And if they go to a 50-50 revenue player ratio regarding that, we'll be lucky if we even see $100 million max supermax to a player anymore. That's how low it's going to dwindle down, I believe. So it's going to be back in the olden days, like back in the 80s, early 90s, where we see very well split teams come back together, I believe. And it's going to be fairly interesting here in the next couple of years for the NBA on how everything determines regarding that, I believe. Because back in the 80s and early 90s, you didn't see a lot of players getting big money.
True, except for Michael Jordan.
Exactly. And I think we're going to end up returning back to that phase here fairly soon. We're not going to see anywhere near the amount of money that we've been seeing here the last couple of years.
Yeah, this money that we've been spending on Supermaxes is ridiculous, though.
Absolutely ridiculous.
That's a lot of money. Steph Curry, I would say if there's any player in the NBA who deserves it, it is Steph Curry. But, geez, that's a lot of money. I mean, in San Antonio, we only offered Kawhi, what, $229 or something like that for a max deal? I believe it was $239 or $229 million. and he rejected it and wanted a trade. So we're like, GTFO. We didn't offer him no 300 million though. No, I was just saying we didn't offer him no $300 million. That's for sure.
Right. Going into quick college football really quick, guys, to capture up everything on the top 25 real quick. We only got a couple more topics here to finish up on. Current game is supposed to be game of the week. Was the Ohio State Penn State game. They're in the fourth quarter right now. Ohio State is currently up 38-19. I predicted Ohio State to win this game anyways. Penn State looked terrible their last game, and I didn't foresee them coming back and winning this game in this one either. Texas A&M was losing early on to Arkansas. They came back in this one. They're currently leading 42-24 with 7 minutes left in the fourth. You have North Carolina getting upset again. They're getting beat up on by Virginia 41-17. They just entered the fourth quarter in this one.
41-17.
41-27. My bad. 41-27. Okay. So they're still down 2 scores. But going into this one, this will be the second big loss for North Carolina here in the last 3 weeks. They took a loss to FSU 31-28 a couple of weeks ago. If they take this loss here, they may drop out of the top 25 next week. So they really need to rally back in this one, and I don't foresee them coming to do that because they've given up 14 points in back-to-back quarters. They've actually given up 14 points in every single quarter. So they're being outscored and outplayed physically in this one. Number 1 team of the week this week, chat. They were without Trevor Lawrence this week. Clemson Tigers over Boston College. Boston College was whooping up on Clemson early in this one. It was 28-13 at halftime.
Yep.
All Boston College needed to do was score once in the second half, and they would have ended up winning this game. They put up donuts in the third and fourth quarter and allowed Clemson to come back to win this game. The freshman quarterback came out and played a really good game. Only missed 11 passes, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. Etienne became the SEC leading running back in this as well. Congrats to him. Etienne is a force to be reckoned with in the NFL draft. When that does come up, he is going to be one of the main running backs to be drafted in this next coming draft as well, in my opinion. So he's going to be a force to reckon with. I said it as well last week that Etienne was going to be actually on Tuesday when we got the news about Lawrence testing positive. Actually, I said Etienne was going to be the main dude to go to one in this game. Wasn't the case. He only had 84 yards and a touchdown. They trusted the quarterback in this one and gave it to him. So fairly impressive for him to lead back and to come back in this game because they were getting annihilated in the first half.
Facts. Facts. That was a good game. That was a better game than what I thought it was going to be.
I thought so too. And another odd game that kind of caught my eye. Number 5 Georgia only put up 14 points against Kentucky today. So kind of concerning. Their quarterback threw 2 picks and only threw for 131 yards. 13 attempts. That's it. And the running back didn't really do all that good either. He almost had 30 carries he had 130 yards. But when you see a running back normally get that many carries, you see him 200 plus yards almost every single time.
True.
So for number 5 Georgia to only put up 14 points today, that kind of makes you a little weary, guys. Big upset of the day. Biggest upset of the day. Went into overtime, and I called this too. Texas versus Oklahoma State. Texas always plays Oklahoma State very hard. They ended up going in and winning in overtime this week, 41-34. Oklahoma State's definitely dropping out of the top 10 after this week after that loss. They may even drop down out of the top 15 into this one. Big upset in this week for that one. And we have another upset following after this one. Michigan State ended up beating Michigan by 3 in Michigan. Michigan is probably going to drop down to probably about 20, if not a little bit lower in this one. That's a big upset for them. Other game in this is kind of interesting. Wisconsin and Nebraska were supposed to play this week. They ended up canceling that game. Wisconsin's got over like 20 some positive cases in that organization right now. They're most likely not even going to be playing next week either. It's not looking good for them. And I think they're even talking about having them forfeit games at this point as well, just because of how bad it's gotten there. So it's not looking good for that organization. And they're going to decide on Tuesday if they can even play in that game next weekend or not. And it's not looking good for them.
I'm going to need them to wear masks. Okay?
Literally, like, what are these guys doing? Like,
right? Over 20 players? No other college football team
has COVID.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Half of your football team has COVID. Like, that's completely unacceptable.
Yeah, they're partying.
I haven't seen any other college in the nation have that many cases yet.
Yep. Dude, not even an NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL
combined all four major sports, I don't think we've seen that many cases.
Yeah, no, bro, not at all. Not at all. You're right.
Like,
that's ridiculous.
What is going on in the NCAA? It's crazy.
Someone sneezed in the Gatorade.
Ooh, couple of big fights in MMA real quick before we let Lamb and Shady touch up on WWE real quick, guys. Greg Hardy, former NFL player for the Dallas Cowboys, comes in and gets a TKO tonight on punches. And then Hiatus and I predicted Anderson Silva was going to beat Uriah Hall. Did not happen. Silva got TKO'd by punches.
Who was right?
Silva got TKO'd by punches, guys.
Wow.
Hiatus and I both agreed that by experience alone, Silva would just wear down Hall. Hall had 9 losses in over half of his fights. And we're like, there's just no way. He's just going to beat him down. He's going to wear him down. He TKO'd Silva.
Those punches hurt.
He TKO'd Silva, guys. Was not expecting that.
Your boy's calling MMA over here, too. Put me another check mark on the box. I said the man is way past his prime. He's too old. And look what happened.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Sorry for ya.
Go ahead and touch up on some WWE, guys. We'll answer some questions from chat at the same time. Chat, go ahead and start typing in some questions if you do have any questions for us. If you have any for sure things that you want to answer from this week, or any future questions that are going to be popping up for the next couple of weeks as well, go ahead and start popping those in the chat, and we'll let these two here touch up on WWE real quick before we end up podcast, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you recall, last week I told y'all about WWE's Hell in the Cell pay-per-view and some of the best wrestling matches that I've ever seen. Hands down, a top 3 best women's championship match that I've ever seen, and a top 5 wrestling match between 2 dudes that I've ever seen, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in the Tribal Chief storyline.
And they've been breaking down that match, too, as possibly one of the best Hell in a Cell matches to possibly be ever wrestled. Like,
it was so flipping good,
dude. To all the way back to the Kane days. Like,
yeah,
Kane had one of the best Hell in a Cell matches to ever happen. And then Mick Foley and Undertaker. It was also one of the best Hell in a Cell matches. I don't think so either. And I don't know if it almost takes the Kane match as well, and that one's almost neck and neck with me. When I was like, like I said, I haven't been keeping up with it, but when I looked at the outtakes of everything, and I even conversed with you last week about it as well, and I was like, that was actually a really good match. And watching them break down and how everything unfolded in that, I was like, okay, I see where you're coming from. But looking back at the Kane match, I don't know if it quite pulls neck and neck with the Kane match either.
All really good.
It was really good.
Matches. Like, this is one of those times where it's great to be a wrestling fan because it's getting really good. It's been good, but it's just they keep. I don't know if they hired new writers in WWE.
Everything's turned around drastically in like the last 6 months.
Like a 180. It's like a complete 180 of what they were doing, because for the past couple of years, it's all been John Cena wins again. John Cena wins again. John Cena wins again.
And like Lamb stated on Tuesday, it's been pretty bland lately up until the last couple of months, with everything been turning around as well. So that's why I lost interest. Like, I used to be a big John Cena fan when he first entered in, and I started getting tired of it. It was John Cena wins. John Cena wins. And then
they shoved him down. You see John
Cena pick up the Big Show and just FU him, no problem. And it's like,
lit.
Yeah, it was lit. Like, I was pretty pumped about that. Like, I was up out of my seat. Like, holy shit, too, what did I just watch? Like did he literally just FU him over his head? Like, there was no way.
Did.
And after it was just nonstop continuation of the same people winning over and over, and not seeing new faces coming in and dominating. And then you see old faces come back, and it kind of brings back old memories at the same time, but you're not bringing new faces in to renew things and to bring a new spark in this, that, and the other. And that's what they've been doing here in the last couple of months finally, too. And especially with the draft shaking everything around at the same time.
Yeah, correct. I used to not believe in a lot of WWE's decisions, but if they're all leading up to where we're going now, then I'm 100% behind them, because this is incredible. So with that Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, he beat Jey Uso in the I Quit match. I'm not even going to tell you how it happened, but you got to watch the match. It's incredible. But they literally put the laser around him, like his grandfather and uncles and everything. They were all out there after Roman Reigns won and said, basically, you're the leader of this family. You know what I mean? You're the leader. They put the laser on him because they're Samoan or whatever. And so now the Usos have to fall in line. You know what I mean? They have to fall in line. So Friday Night SmackDown started out with Roman Reigns out there with his representative, Paul Heyman, and then Jey Uso, of course, went out there. And Jey Uso basically super emotional, talking about, you know me, Us, I would never quit. Just like when we were kids, I was never going to say I quit. You knew what you did. And I'm not going to tell you once again how we won the match, but you gotta watch it. But he was basically like, I hate you, Roman. I hate you. I don't like who you are. This belt has gone to your head and made you a different person. And Roman Reigns was like, by the end of this show, you will fall in line. Right? Super emotional. So then the main event was Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan. Yes. You know, the yes movement or whatever. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves Jey Uso too. So it was just a phenomenal match. Just what a great main event just for a regular Friday Night SmackDown. And then all of a sudden, Roman Reigns' music hits and he comes out and he's standing on the ramp. He doesn't interfere with the match, though. He just finishes watching the match, and Jey Uso beats Daniel Bryan 1-on-1. 1, 2, 3 clean. No cheating, no hibbity-dibbity in the ring. So Daniel Bryan lost to Jey Uso. So then Roman gets in the ring, and Jay's in the ring, and Jey Uso turns heel with Roman Reigns and proceeds to beat the living hell out of Daniel Bryan. I mean, beat the tar. The fans are booing like it's an incredible heel turn. He puts him on the table, out the announcer's table outside the ring, jumps on the top of the ring, does a super splash off of there, breaks him through the table. Even as they're carting Daniel Bryan, he super kicks him multiple times in the face. They're carting him off. The medical staff and Jey Uso still trying to get after him. So this is what I said. This is what I wanted to see. I want to see the faction. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief leader, Jimmy and Jey Uso standing right behind him, running the WWE, bro. Running the WWE. And I think it's happening. It was fantastic. It's the best storyline happening right now. Y'all have to get in on this and watch that. You have to get in on it. Amazing. There's
Anything
other stuff
else you
going on
want to
too,
add
but
into that hiatus?
nothing as good as that.
Nope. I let him steal the WWE show.
You can have it next week, hiatus.
Yeah, man. But no, that's good. I mean, the thing is that we've seen over the years, we were missing that connection to the star that we had with Dwayne Johnson, with Steve Austin,
The Rock.
where you just didn't know what to expect.
Right.
During the Steve Austin era, milk truck, beer, like you just didn't know what to expect.
That
And then
milk truck was a classic in
right,
it. Like that.
you had Chris Jericho on a lesser scale. Like you had so many stories that were going on simultaneous to that. You had Chris Benoit. You had Eddie Guerrero. Like there were so many stars and so many different storylines. So it's nice to hear that they're kind of getting back to that and focusing on the story, and not just regurgitating what they felt worked in the past. So
Yeah.
that's dope.
Every
Yeah,
time
for
the Undertaker
sure.
rode in on his motorcycle, you knew shit was about to get real.
Exactly.
He's supposed to be making apparently Survivor Series, which is November 22nd, that Sunday. Apparently, it's supposed to be Undertaker themed because 30 years ago, Undertaker debuted
Right.
at Survivor Series. So it's supposed to be. There's already been photos leaked of wrestlers wearing their same wrestling gear, but it's Undertaker themed. Like Sasha Banks had her normal Sasha Banks gear, but it's all blacked out. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So we might see some cool Undertaker type stuff. If we do, I'm definitely going to buy something from WWEshop.com because I'm pretty sure they'll have a sale going on. But I want to get something to have, from the Undertaker. He's been a great part of my childhood growing up watching wrestling for sure. So I think that'll be dope. They said he's not going to wrestle, but I mean, he might, tombstone pile drive somebody who has a big mouth.
Yeah, if Undertaker gonna be there, something gonna go down.
I'm gonna make a prediction that it'll probably be Elias, because he's just that douche who comes out with a guitar and sings a song that everybody hates, and I'm pretty sure the Undertaker will interrupt him.
Gives him the boot real quick and throws him into a tombstone.
Yep, I'm thinking all the lights will go out when that dude's in the ring. And then when the lights come back on, Undertaker will be standing right behind him. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. I hope it happens.
That'd be great. There anything else you guys want to add in the podcast today? Is there anything that chat wants to ask that we haven't caught up on or had a topic on that you guys may want to add into the future or anything like that? Please let us know. We're open to anything and anything. Again, is there anything that you two want to add in anything as well?
Halloween. That's all I got.
Same. Happy Halloween.
Yes.
Happy Halloween.
If anyone is out there and enjoying themselves, please be safe tonight. Happy Halloween.
Wear your mask, okay? It is now flu season.
Yes.
And COVID is not a joke. So wear your mask. Just because everything's opening back up does not mean that you will not get sick and infect all your loved ones. So wear your mask, please.
Big facts, big facts. All right, guys. That's going to cut it for us. Who are we going to rate tonight, guys? Who do we have on our suspect list that we are going to go over to? We got Miss Kenner online. We have Amaze online. Livin is online. Shelsky's online. Sunshine's online. Guys, we have so many people online today.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for Sunshine, especially if she has her webcam up, because I know she's probably fully Halloween suited out.
I see Sunshine's webcam up. Sunshine, what are you? She's wearing a hat, guys. Sunshine, is that your outfit? Is that your Halloween costume? Is there anybody Halloweened out? Is Shelsky Halloweened out?
Jelsky is, Batty Matty is, Black Dahlia is. They all have Halloween
Yeah,
costumes.
Shelsky over here wearing a bunny suit, it looks like. JJ's got the red all dark theme going on the background. Everyone's theming out tonight, chat. Even Megs. Megs is streaming Animal Crossings. I don't know if you guys follow Megs or not. She's a huge Halloween fanatic. Miss Kenner's always wearing her bunny ears. I don't know if she's wearing... Oh, she's a ghost tonight, chat. She's a headless or she's a bodiless person. She only has her head showing right now. That's funny. Who we raiding into, guys? Somebody pick somebody. Who we going into?
I would say let's raid Sunshine. What's your vote, Hiatus?
I'm good with that.
All right. We haven't been to a Sunshine.
Comes in and shows love. I'm good
does.
with that.
She really does. And again, everybody, thank you again. We've had an amazing podcast with these guys today. We're on finishing up episode 8 of Mel Shady Just for Bad Sportscast. We had an amazing one today. Make sure you guys are following any three of us. If you guys aren't, make sure you do. And again, if you guys have any suggestions...
Wait, is that Tom Brady? Is that Tom? What down is it?
If you guys, again, have any suggestions or anything you want us to talk about in upcoming podcasts, please let us know, and we'll make sure to cover that and to discuss those for you guys as well. Again, happy Halloween, guys. We are going to go raid Miss Sunshine. And again, thank you for an amazing podcast. We will be back with you guys on Tuesday for episode 9 of podcast. And have a good night, guys. Much appreciated. Make sure to throw some emotes in for Miss Sunshine.
GG's.